to another episode of Music Girl Hideout, the show where we hang out with artists, musicians, and entertainers in Waylon Jennings' old basement studio. My name is Jury, and as always, I am gathered here with co-host Ryan Poole, where I'll pass it to you to introduce the guests.
Well, tonight, on a very special episode of Music Girl Hideout,
we
have the band Light. And
What's up?
Hey, guys.
as is our custom, with a band, we're going to do two members to start, Connor and Trevor, and then about an hour in, we're going to swap to the two other guys, Jack and Garrett. So anyway,
I'm impressed you remember their names. I thought you definitely forgot again.
So if you get bored with this first segment, skip ahead to about an hour and in. Jack and Garrett are probably be way more interesting.
No,
Talking about
we haven't even said 4 words yet.
they're going to be talking about complex musical ideas. So all the music nerds, I assume.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And the band Light is a rock band from Spring Hill, Tennessee.
Yes.
And okay, first, right off the bat. So when I looked you guys up, and by the way, I'll explain this how you wound up in these chairs because you don't know.
Yeah. I was actually going to ask you that. So.
Yeah.
So my fiance works at Parks Realty, and
Oh, no way.
you're somebody in your family does.
My parents.
Your parents, both
do.
of your parents.
Yeah.
So your parents work at Parks. So I guess they post your content. And
Wow.
she saw it and she was like, "You should have these people on."
Oh, that's wild.
And so yeah. So anyway, so I was
That
like,
is so cool.
She said it enough times. I was like, okay, fine. Let me see what they are. And then I was like, okay, cool. You're a rock band. So that's how you wound up here.
Wow.
Wait, so your fiance works at Parks?
Yeah.
So your
At the
fiance's got
Franklin
the
office.
money.
Well, he works in music, so you know he doesn't.
He's got to support this
you
place
gotta
somehow.
level it out.
Yeah. She's got to sell them houses.
That's awesome.
That's crazy.
Tonight's episode is brought to you by Parks Realty. Ashley Lampkin's Realty. But anyway, so okay, so when I looked into you, the first thing I noticed is, I don't know if it's on your Instagram or where, but pretty right away I saw you guys have a description of yourselves as like a rock and roll boy band.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, talk to me about what that means. Yeah.
I think the idea really started from when we first all got together. We're all theater kids. I'm sorry to anyone who didn't know that. That's probably a prerequisite for how the rest of this interview is about to go. But
Just skip ahead.
we're all theater kids, and so when we all got together, we all have very like big personalities. I'd like to say we all have very like loud, outgoing, kind of personalities.
Well-
Most of us, we all have personalities. I guess is
Yeah,
what I'm saying,
yeah.
and we wanted to display that as much as we could, and so we looked at stuff like boy bands, and like when you think about it, every great band, not just one guy leading a bunch of people, but every great band has individual personalities, and every great boy band has the same thing. So why not call ourselves a boy band, set it apart, and like, you brand yourself differently, and it targets a different age group, one that more determines taste. Like people listening to rock bands are, typically older. People listening to boy bands are teenage girls. And as much as,
That's what you're going for.
yeah, exactly.
I don't even know that we didn't even necessarily think and be like, yeah, this is what we're going to call ourselves. It was more of we were just kind of being ourselves on stage and making songs that just felt fun. And we're just there's actually our first sad song is on our new EP. But up until now, we don't really make sad music. We just kind of have fun on stage. And so I just one day I was like, what should we call ourselves? What's one slogan? And I was just like, rock and roll boy band. That's just it just felt like that's what
felt
we are.
natural.
Especially for this new song cycle that we're going into. I don't know. I think we've already evolved so much in just the 3 years that we've been together.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that we're always going to be a rock and roll boy band, but that's what we are right now. And so
Yeah.
It's a constant journey. I mean, every musician's journey is a constant journey, but right now rock and roll boy band feels right. Later it might not, but it's always going to be a part of who we are.
Now,
Later
you guys
we'll-
are all 20 years old, right? Except Jack's 21.
we're all
that
one
right?
year. We're all 1 year apart. So Trevor's 18. Or wait,
Yeah.
you're about to turn.
okay.
I'm
He's
about to turn 19.
18 turning 19.
And then
Garrett
Garrett actually just turned 20. I think
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Garrett just
Said
turned
yeah
20.
in the other
I'm about to
room.
turn 21, and then Jack will be 22 soon. So we're all like one
Okay,
school
nice.
year apart. So,
So when you're shooting for the teenage girl demographic, this is a demographic that
That's-
some of you can take.
listen,
Hey, whoa,
I-
whoa, 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 whoa.
I-
The thing is, they are the tastemakers in music. Like when you think about it, what?
Teenage girls hold all the power.
They
No,
really do.
They really
I-
do. Like if you look at the charts right now, it's all just people who teenage girls listen to. They decide what is hot and what makes it, and so like why not
Now,
cater to them?
I have not been a teenage girl in a very long time.
Me neither. It's been a while.
but
I feel like the time of like teenage girls being into boy bands passed like a long time ago.
it'll be back soon.
Oh well. And the thing is,
I mean, I know that K-pop is big right now, which is essentially the
Yeah.
same thing.
I think more so than teenage girls. I think like just the youth youth defines the culture. I think like the
Yes.
teenagers define the culture, and I think that's very true with like the music industry. Like most of the time, before a band blows up, they've got a big like teenage following. And,
Yes.
and so like I don't know. I just think like a lot of things start with the kids.
yeah.
And,
And the
You
other
know
thing,
what's it? Okay, I have two different trails I want to go down.
oh,
But let me just address what you just said first
Yeah.
for a second, because I always believe that the youth like determining what's cool, and
Sure, Youth of a
What-
Nation and all that.
yeah. But when I was a youth, I thought that we were making all the cool stuff, and
Yeah.
the parent like adults just didn't get it. They didn't know what was cool. As a confirmed adult by this point,
how old are you?
I just turned 36. This
Wow,
week.
I'm sorry.
I would
Thank-
not have guessed that.
So I think I'm a confirmed like adult now.
Yeah, you're a real adult.
And now here's what I think.
Yeah, you're
I don't think
engaged.
I don't think that the kids decide what's cool. I think the kids have what's cool with them. And we all think it's stupid and we don't
True.
care.
Very true.
And it's not that like we don't get it. It's that like we have our own things that we think are
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Does that make sense?
We're just really loud about it. I think is what it comes down to.
record labels listen
and
to you.
we're more on the internet than adults are,
Exactly.
so it seems like that's probably
That's not true anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, because
Little
now
less and
adults.
less.
Yeah, that's wow.
Because I mean, our generation grew up like when I remember.
we invented the internet, son.
Exactly. Like I remember there being no internet.
Are y'all technically millennials?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're millennials.
Oh.
Technically, we're not even close to the line. All right.
Where's the?
I'm
where's the-
5
need,
years.
Like
I could be 5 years older and
that's
still
not
be a
the right
millennial. All
sound
right.
I need like a.
Oh, we have
I think we
that.
have that.
Oh,
Yeah.
we had it. Millennials.
Close enough. That's close enough.
That works.
Yeah.
It's the dramatic
we-
effect we needed.
We're
Yeah,
didn't
we're
have the
comfortably
internet.
middle millennials.
So you guys like Coldplay, basically.
Is what you're
I've
saying.
never been a big fan of Coldplay.
So,
I like Coldplay.
so you use emojis in your
That's
bio.
because I listen to rock music, which means I'm
So you
old.
guys take selfies.
And
I
Wait, did
don't.
Gen Z not take selfies?
I
Not
mean, for
really.
Snapchat.
I mean, yeah, for Snapchat and like they have
be
like
fair.
like the thirst trap ones.
Do you own a selfie stick?
No.
No.
Okay.
Actually,
what
we
am
have
I?
one here, but
No
it's
way.
the studios. And it's actually a client left it here, and I just kept it.
Oh, really?
This is not going to turn into a Gen Z versus millennial podcast.
No, unless you want it to.
I think it.
It could go there.
Oh,
But at
Nope.
the end of the day, no matter what you say, we weren't theater kids. So
That's
honestly, you got us with that one.
you got us. Yeah,
I hate that he can use my words against me.
that is very true. That is very very true.
although I did take one like semester of drama in high school.
There you go.
What a loser.
I would say though, like as much as like we say we're theater kids, okay, hear me out.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't really have. I mean,
Yeah,
I was
we're-
in
I was-
theater for 3 years of high school, but like I would not say that I was like the theater kid that you think of when you say theater kid. Like, and I don't think like really any of us were, because we weren't like weird like singing Hamilton songs in the hallway.
Yeah.
theater kids.
I still
like we're
haven't
just like normal people, or the most normal, I would say, theater kids.
Yeah.
That just
I would agree.
like to be in shows.
However, there is this one TikTok that I saw. I know this is like the third time we brought up TikTok, but there was this one TikTok I saw that was like every theater boy in your department, and we all fit it too painfully accurately.
Yeah.
So I don't know how. I think we ride the line. I think we're normal.
Maybe
for the
all
most
theater
part.
kids think that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe that's
Yeah,
maybe that's what
maybe-
makes you a theater.
Maybe
kid.
we're just gaslighting ourselves right now, honestly.
It's true. Now, I brought up the boy band thing because in our time, time long ago,
Yeah.
the 90s,
Many moons ago.
back in the 90s was the rise of, and I mean like 99, 2000,
Yeah.
was like the rise of the boy bands. We had,
Oh, it started in the 80s. Started with New Kids on the Block.
Yeah.
yeah, but that was like before our time, really.
Yeah, I mean, my sisters had like New Kids on the Block Barbies.
So let's say
dolls.
our generation had around
But it was the
99, we got the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC,
Right.
98 Degrees, LFO. I don't know if they're kind of a boy band, but we got all those boy bands.
Excuse me.
At the time, boy bands was like the least cool thing you could be.
Yeah.
Like it was like we were all into like rock, and at the time, new metal was the thing. So I'm
Oh,
talking
yeah.
Oh,
Corn, Limp Bizkit.
Slipknot, like that kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, really like.
with like borderline rap rock on top of it.
Yeah, with rap rock. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what was cool. And then like Blink 182.
Yeah. Oh.
And stuff like that. And so when the boy bands came around, like it was the least cool thing that anyone could be. And every boy was like, now granted, we were like, I'm talking our like 8th grade-ish year. 8th grade, being a boy band was the worst thing that there ever was. And the weird thing about time though is that like 20 years later, you're going like now if we went to a wedding and they played like I want it that
Yeah, you're going
way,"
crazy.
everyone's like
Yeah.
Hey, that's
Like,
so funny.
Yeah.
and now you accept it.
Yeah,
But
everyone
yeah.
our age knows the Bye 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 dance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes.
but at the time, that was the worst
Yeah.
thing you could be. So I'm curious, like, has that shifted for your age
I
range?
think
Is like boy band, like, are you guys like, no, we're cool with that?
I think we just like don't really genre kind of now especially doesn't really like matter as much to people. It's more of like just an energy and a vibe. And the other thing too is like even if people did hate boy bands, like hate is views. Like people are gonna watch us either way, whether they're
Basically,
hating on
we're
us or not.
sellouts.
And like yeah, basically we're sellouts is what we're fully admitting, right?
I didn't used to like. I mean, I was like definitely when I was little, I was like a Justin Bieber hater. Like when One Direction like first started, I was in like elementary school. I was like, One Direction, they're all weird and like. So I definitely was a hater for a while on boy bands, and now like Harry Styles is like one of my biggest inspirations. So like. I don't know. I think like when you grow up, you just like realize that some of that music actually is good, and maybe it's like that you like grew up with it and it's out of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Because now I'm like rocking with like the early Justin Bieber stuff, like same as
Oh, yeah.
you guys. But yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of like what we do, we just say that we're a boy band, but like
It's a good line.
it's
Yeah,
it's just
a fun
yeah,
line.
yeah.
Yeah.
it's a tagline, but like I think what really I don't know, because the music industry, the modern music industry now, there's not very many rock bands like how there used to be rock bands. Like Led Zeppelin.
It makes me very
like
sad.
yeah, like Robert Plant is like the main guy, but like everybody knows all four of the guys' names. Like same with Rolling Stones. Like that doesn't really happen nowadays. And the closest thing that we have to something like that is a boy band. And so that's really kind of where that tagline comes from, is like we're just the type of band where like all four of us are there and like involved, and
Yeah.
it's about all four of us, and like it's about what we do together, and not just one person and then the band.
Yes.
Yeah, I get that. I like that. Here's for your future. I already thought of when I asked the question. I already thought of a defense that you should have. So for next time you're asked, here's your defense.
Oh, okay.
You say, actually, the Beatles were the first boy band.
That is
Have you
very
heard that
true.
before?
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah. The
That's
Beatles were
true.
the perfect example of that. I didn't even think about the
Yeah.
Beatles.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah.
you say that to me, and then you just won.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
how it
honestly,
works.
all you have to do is just insert the Beatles in any conversation, and you immediately win.
Like,
See that when you listen to Jack in like about an hour now, that's exactly what you're gonna hear.
You're gonna hear
and he's
Beatles,
gonna be
Beach
right.
Boys.
He's gonna be right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, he is. I love the Beatles and the Beach Boys.
This is how Garrett and Jack's conversation is going to go. Beach Boys, Beatles, Beatles, Van Halen, Eddie.
Now,
I love you guys.
what's funny? So
They're in the other room right now, and they just heard him completely dissing on them.
I can't wait to hear their comeback in
they're
about an
lifting
hour.
their first finger at you as to say, he's number one. He's number one. That's what I said.
I already know Garrett's going to be like, this is how Connor's conversation go. Oasis, Harry Styles.
Dude.
I'm
So-
British.
And with that, I want to say, so what's funny is like when people from our generation hear boy band, we think like 4 guys that sing and don't play
Yeah,
instruments.
dance.
Yeah.
Synchronized
Sing and
dancing.
Dance. Sing and
We
dance.
don't dance. We
Harmony.
don't dance.
Why not?
And what's funny
We
is
can't.
You don't want to see that.
to my eye, when I've listened to your music, and in just a second, we're going to go have you guys play a song. To my ears and eyes, when you guys play a song, I'm like, oh, you're a band. Like you're like a proper rock band. Like you're playing rock that sounds like the 70s.
Yeah,
But it also it
sometimes
depends on the
80s.
song, though. So I was like
Yeah.
listening to you guys on the drive over, and I mean, I was just listening to my car, so I don't know the titles. But the second one that came on Spotify, Honest, maybe?
Honest,
Yes, yeah.
This song, I was like, this is a rock song.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's kind of like our new direction. It's
New Direction.
yeah, that's kind of where we've
There
been.
you go.
It's our
Can't get away
You
from
got to
it.
figure it out. We're changing our name. No, we kind of decided on this new like more rock direction whenever like the Harry Styles stuff, unreleased stuff was blowing up on TikTok, and like we'd already been getting kind of inspired by that thing all of last year, or by that like sound and vibe last year. And so we just decided, hey, why not? Let's go for it, because we've all, or at least I have had a past with like that kind of stuff, and I love it. And I just have a love for it, and I'm glad we get to show it on this next release.
I think it was just natural. You know,
Yeah.
we've all kind of loved rock music. For me, I was sort of the thing like holding us back because I didn't like come from a rock background at all.
You didn't what? From a rock background?
I didn't come from a rock background at all, and all the rest of them did. So like it kind of took me like a few years to like get to where I like enjoyed that kind of music, and so I think it kind of shows in this new project finally, and yeah, I feel like it feels the most like us out of anything that we've done.
I
So
agree.
I'm like so far. I don't know about forever, but
I really like the next EP. We already wrote.
yeah,
I
but
shouldn't admit that yet, but
yeah. So yeah, it just felt like Garrett obviously is like a shredder, and like we've been making like freaking like little indie pop songs, and like so it felt like it was rock and roll is kind of, it just felt natural. It felt like the best way to showcase everybody's ability, and so yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
Well,
right.
what's the first song you guys are going to play?
The first song is called Lips. It's just came out on September 1st. And
this is our heaviest song. This
No.
is the most rock song that we have.
I
right
was
now.
talking earlier about the only sad song we've ever written. This one, I'm trying to think of like the night that I wrote it. It was like probably the hardest like day of my entire life. Like I was like, a little backstory behind it. I had like just gotten out of this relationship, and then like there's always that one moment when you're going through a breakup where you just like realize like, oh crap, like this is
Do we have a bass drop
like,
sound?
I am like, you realize like, oh crap, like, and so, but I just had like a full blown like panic attack, and then like I was laying in my bed that night, and literally, like I kid you not, the line like "you were my world, but I just couldn't give it to you" like came to my head, and I just got up, got my guitar, and I wrote this song, and you could actually hear on the recording. If you go and listen to it, like at the very beginning, the little voice memo is actually from the night that I recorded that. It's from like that very night. So it is a really important song to me, because obviously it was very raw. So
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't mean to go on a whole spiel about it, but
We're literally
That's
on
what
a
we're here
podcast.
for.
yeah, I guess I'm speaking Japanese over here, but yeah, that's Lips.
and delete. 3 short words you'll probably never see. The cycle repeats. I saw you where you said you'd never be. We sealed our fate, thinking about that sunny Monday. It hasn't been 10 days. Now I'm at some party, touching her face. Ooh, her lips don't taste as good as yours do. Ooh, her lips don't taste as good as yours do. And how do you get this far without knowing who you are? I'm trying to find your car when I'm out. And how am I just the same as the dumb old kid you knew 2 years today? And what do I do when you were my world, but I just couldn't give it to you? Her lips don't, yeah. Her lips don't taste as good as yours do. Her lips don't taste as good as yours do.
So
Woo.
you mentioned that like rock and roll wasn't really your background. Now,
Oh, I was going to ask the same thing.
yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, I was going to say, well, what was your background?
Yeah, because listening to your guys' music, I'm hearing a lot of rock and roll influences overall.
Yeah.
I heard some 80s rock influences. I heard some 70s rock influences. I even heard a moment. I don't remember what the song was called, but it was something about summer. And you had some straight up. And I wanted to ask you, like, if you were purposely
about summer.
referencing the Beach Boys. There was like Beach
Oh,
Boys-esque
probably.
harmonies.
Yeah,
on it,
probably.
like,
Yes,
singing about
Sunburst
summer.
probably.
Yes.
That was all Jack.
Yeah.
There's Jack every
Wait,
moment.
can we just get Jack in? Can we just be done with this segment?
sometimes yeah,
Jack just be pondering.
that's what I was saying. Like
Studio.
there are just some moments on our songs where we're just like, Jack, we're just gonna let you cook right now. And he comes up like he'll like go to another room and then he'll come back 10 minutes later and it'll just be that. And we're like, how did he do this? But yeah, we're hoping like this next EP, we were kind of like scattered. We didn't get a chance to like all be together while writing it. So we're hoping, in the future we'll be able to have more moments like that where
Yes.
they can shine. But my background personally, I did not grow up in music or like with music at all. Both of my parents were in music. Like in college, my dad was in a quartet, like a gospel quartet.
I forgot that your dad was in.
Yeah, it's awesome. And my mom like would sing at church. But I just played sports all the way up to high school. I played football, basketball, so I didn't like really. The only music that was around me was like Christian music and like the occasional like Justin Bieber song. Like I didn't really listen to music until like sophomore year of high school. I kind of started like getting into it, and like it was just very like strictly like pop music, like radio pop music. So that's where like a lot of my like at my core, like I every Bandlight song I think has a pop structure for the most part. That's just the way, at least when I write, like that's just the way that I kind of think about it because that's my core. Yeah, yeah, like I slowly started to get into like 80s music. Like when I got casted in this in our musical called Footloose, and the movie Footloose, and so all the songs,
I think I've heard of it.
like iconic 80s songs. And so for that, like I like legitimately like method acted that so hard, and I like only listened to 80s music. So I got like really, really into 80s music, and I think
like,
that was the
Mom
bridge.
and Dad, why won't you let me dance?
No, like literally, it was. I like became this character. Like I even bought like a car, a '91 Corvette, because of like it was.
That's not the 80s.
Yeah, but like it was like
Close enough.
old school. I couldn't. My parents wouldn't let me get an '80s one because it didn't have an airbag or a what is it called? Is it an airbag?
Airbags?
Like the things
Airbags
that save
shoot
your life.
Yeah.
bags
so
of air at you?
they made me get a newer one that had an airbag. But anyways, that was kind of the bridge into like rock and roll, because like the '80s, like songs from Footloose, it's like there's some rock and roll in there. Like it's
There's
not-
a guitar.
like Kenny Loggins, like I'm Free. Like that's kind of a rock song.
Footloose is
So-
a rock song.
It's kind
Yeah.
of just been it's been a gradual thing for me.
What kind of music did your parents listen to?
I mean, my parents didn't really listen to music that much. Like I don't know. Like I just
Wait,
like
what about before you were born?
before I was born.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom was really into Bon Jovi. That's her favorite band.
Yeah.
So my mom listened to a lot of that. Like I had heard some Bon Jovi songs like before. My dad didn't really. I mean, it was just like whenever I was in the car, it was just Christian radio.
He was
That's
a hard
all
rap
that
head.
was on.
Yeah.
He was a big
So
hip-hop
one thing
head.
I'm curious about their background, because I feel like a lot of Christian parents, like, they listen to other music before you were
Yeah.
born, and then once they have
swapped at
kids,
some point. Yeah.
like a lot of times, like they'll switch. Christian parents will switch to Christian music to like so that their kids aren't hearing bad
Yeah.
stuff on the radio.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, meanwhile your mom liked Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
And then like
She was big into those hair metal bands like Poison.
Yeah.
But she
Really?
just didn't pass any of that down to me. I don't think it was. It
She wants
was.
to protect her baby.
I don't know that she was like trying not to. Like I like recently, like a couple years ago, discovered that she liked all of these bands. Like I knew that she liked
Yeah.
Bon Jovi. But yeah, like a couple
But if
years
your
ago,
dad sang in a quartet, he had to have liked music on some
Yeah.
level.
he just listened to Christian music. That's it. And country. He listened to a lot of country, but like my dad went to like a Baptist church in Alabama. So like he was always around like the like old Southern gospel songs. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. He's played them a million times on our piano at home, but like I don't really.
Your dad plays
Yeah.
piano.
Yeah, a little bit. He
I'm
knows how to
finding
play.
out. I'm finding out so much about Connor's parents in this interview.
Well, that's the thing is like they don't show any of that, and so that's why I didn't really grow up around any music, because it just wasn't like sports was the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
And you can't like both.
Yeah.
You have to choose.
honestly,
Exactly.
You kind of do. You kind of
that's
gotta.
why High School Musical changed my life.
It's the High School Musical genre
Yeah,
of living.
yeah.
Nice.
Oh man.
So, would you say like the rock and roll influence in the band comes more from the band?
From them, yeah, for sure. Like you should have seen, like me and Garrett kind of like canceled each other out when we first met. Like I was like hardcore like F-boy, and I like wore a cross earring, and like I was like
He was trying to be George Michael for a hot
no,
second.
I was like I looked like the kid that would be in the front row at the football game with his shirt off. Like that was me. And then Garrett comes in, and Garrett's like wearing like a leather jacket, and he's like half of his head shaved, and like wearing like a Megadeth t-shirt. And so now like me and Garrett just like kind of, so that was where we started. And like the more that we all like hung out, we kind of just like canceled each other out, and like his influences kind of got to me. Like I had started listening to Van Halen because of him. And then yeah, we just kind of met in the middle now, and I feel like we're kind of even. But
I was just off listening to Frank Ocean the whole time.
yeah, Trevor.
Yeah. What's your background, Trevor?
My background is a little bit different. My dad is a big Fish head. You know the band Fish?
Yeah.
All
Yeah. Your dad smokes a lot of weed.
see the funny thing is Never has.
He's lying.
Never
He's
has.
It has been-
Your dad is lying to you.
Your dad is a lying. He is a lying pothead.
There's no way. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Mr. Trevor.
I know.
If Jason sees this, I apologize, but
He
I
will see it.
I genuinely believe he is lying. And I'll say that to
By
his
the way,
face.
Honestly-
my dad smokes pot. Like, it's fine.
My
Honestly,
dad used to sell meth.
I
So
would be.
We're
I
not
w-
judging your dad.
No, honestly, I'm impressed with him if he is, because I think we'd love to find out his techniques whenever we're in the studio for hiding the pot, because there's been no trace of it in my house for 18 years. But so fish for 18 years, just fish. And then my mom,
He's not exaggerating.
I'm really not. Like whenever we're in the car,
Every time.
my dad will listen to Fish.
I've only known
whole
one person who was super into fish. It was my best friend growing up, Jake. His dad was into fish. Seemed like a really nice guy. He had a nursery. So he worked at a nursery. Very like
For
upstanding,
plants?
nice house. Yeah, worked
For
plants.
plants?
for plants or for babies?
For plants.
Okay, what
For
kind? What
plants.
kind of plants?
Very upstanding, nice guy. Found out years later that he was growing and selling a lot of pot.
Wow.
There it is. But no, yeah, had fish on that side, and then my mom really loved pop. She was really into the Police and Sting when she was a kid.
Ooh,
that was
nice.
like her thing.
Didn't know that.
But she kind of, my mom just really listens to whatever is really catchy, and so I kind of grew up with that and never really had I didn't like whatever my parents were listening to. I was kind of trying to forge my own path and listening to what I liked. The first musical experience I had as a kid was actually Geometry Dash on my iPad.
Nice.
I really liked Stereo Madness, like the first level, even though I couldn't beat it. But
Is this a music thing?
so
I'm so confused.
I'm like, we
It's-
never had iPads
yeah.
in school.
it's the
That's-
first it's the first level of Geometry Dash. It's called Stereo Madness. I don't know why I remember this, but I really liked the music on it, and so I started getting into techno for a couple months as my first music, and it was mine, and it felt like mine. And then the first big musical experience I had was listening to the FIFA 16 soundtrack as a kid. That he knows.
Those FIFA soundtracks.
Bro, they went
hit.
hard, and I got heavy into that alternative thing. I just it made me feel something that I never felt before with Fish or Sting, and it just
It's because you didn't listen to Fish after
it's because I
smoking a
didn't
blunt.
it's because I didn't smoke a blunt at 10 years old. But so yeah, I got into that alternative pop kind of thing, and then I just wanted more and more as I got into middle school, and then that's when I had my real rock phase. Was in 6th grade. I got into all the hair metal stuff. Loved Motley Crue and
I didn't know that.
yeah, I love Motley Crue in 6th grade.
Do
That
you guys
was
even know each other?
no, we live with each. That's crazy. But no, I really got into that, and then 7th grade, I discovered Blink 182,
Here it is.
and this was where it all shifted. So for context,
Yeah,
thank you,
that's
thank
me.
you.
You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
But for context, I've been playing drums since 5th grade at this point. I was in 7th grade now. I discovered
Nice. I
Enema.
started 5th grade too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I also discovered Enema of the State.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are we the same person?
Yeah.
Just
15,
just 15 years apart.
Yeah.
17, 18?
Wow.
18 years apart.
Wow.
We should try to mind meld.
Oh my God, you are double his age.
Can we mind meld right now?
That is crazy.
Would that be sinning if
Yeah.
we mind
mind
meld it?
melded. Do you know how to we both try to say the same thing?
Yeah,
on the mic?
yes.
Okay, let's
Okay,
do it.
ready?
Okay. The
Apple
was
walking
down the street, and it had a giant head.
This is not the first time we've done this. On the podcast,
Have y'all
for the
seen that
record.
game where you do you start with 2 words and then you you go 1, 2, 3 and then you say a word
Yes.
and
that
then you
game.
try to meet at the beginning Or I don't know how to
No.
explain it.
Yeah, no.
This sounds like some theater kid stuff.
But anyway,
It probably is. Probably is.
All right, let's all find an item around the room and tell a story about it.
You got us play an improv game.
bro, that would go crazy. An improv game would be so fun right now. We should put elevator.
Those actually are fun.
Those are so fun.
What's elevator?
I don't even know.
So basically, you have like two people in an elevator. So you're in an elevator, and
Okay.
there's one person who's anyone, and there's another person who's anyone, and they interact with each other. And then one person steps out of the elevator, and then another person who's anyone walks in. It's like he could be Harry Styles, and I could be Frank Ocean.
Hello.
So you pick who you are, but you don't tell the other person.
Yes.
And then you
that's fun.
do a scene.
Yeah,
That's
Okay.
actually fun.
but yeah, what was I talking about? Oh yeah,
Blink 182.
and Blink
Cinema of the
182.
State.
I love
Yeah.
Blink 182. Travis Barker was like my first hero
Same.
musician.
I got to talk to him on the phone one time.
Really?
Yeah, because I called into that. He was on. So we're both from San Diego,
Which is where
they're from.
Yes.
And
Okay.
so
Yes.
One time they were on our local radio station, 94.9. They're like a rock station, and they were doing a tour called the Dollar Bill Y'all tour, or was it? Or Dollar Bill Y'all was that was Limp Bizkit. They were doing a dollar bill tour. Anyway, it was $1 to go to the show, but all the tickets sold out like
Yeah.
super instantly.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I called in hoping to get tickets, and I was like, "Hi, I wanted to go to your show tonight." And I was probably 18, or maybe 17,
Yeah.
and they were like, and then Tom DeLonge was like, "It's only $1, dude."
That's so funny.
And I was like, "I'm sorry, I just couldn't get tickets." and then I told Travis, I was like, "Travis, you're my drumming idol. I've learned how to play drums, but I'm in a band and I learned how to play drums by like playing along to you on your records."
Wow.
And
No,
blah,
yeah,
blah,
that
blah. And
was-
he's like, "Oh, cool, man, that's great." You know.
Oh,
That was a pretty good
he's
Tom DeLonge
so
impression.
Cool.
Oh well, we're from there, so we could.
It
I
just
can
sounds
do
like
it
he just sounds like
naturally.
San Diego.
Are you
Oh my
ser-
God.
Yeah.
Where
Wow.
are you?
Where
So-
are you?
Yeah, it's just
I'm
in our hearts.
sorry.
We're born with that.
That's awesome.
It's a gift.
It's just
True.
the
It's a
San
San
Diego.
Diego sound. Yeah, I was
It
about
is.
to say.
It is a San
It's
Diego
just
sound.
like how our friends talk, and then
Yeah.
there's a certain spice to it.
Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, I showed up to the show postscript and scalped tickets off some dude there.
for more than $1.
I paid
bet.
$20.
Aw.
But
That's still worth
pretty
it.
good.
That's
yeah.
still worth it
And
to,
we
like,
saw
see
them at
them.
Soma, which was our local venue. If you don't know this about Blink 182's backstory, Blink 182 says when we formed, our goal was to play Soma. That was their big goal.
Oh, wow.
And Soma was the cool all ages venue in San Diego. It held about 2,000 people.
Yeah.
So when Blink 180, we're talking right now about like 2004 probably. So Blink 182 is like one of the biggest bands in the world, and
Yeah.
they're playing at Soma, a venue of for 2,000 people for $1.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
So
That's
it was
so
worth
fun.
it for 20.
Yeah, I definitely
Yeah, that's
agree.
so worth it. But no, I loved that, and then I got into like metal in 8th grade because that was my really like dark phase, and I was going
Yeah.
through some heavy stuff. But got
Being
into like
13 is pretty
Slipknot.
tough.
Yeah, being 14
is.
really does a number on your soul for a little bit. But I got into like Slipknot. Joey Jordison is another. I don't really bring him up much anymore.
We're
but, like,
having a weirdly parallel year. Like
Are
in
we?
8th and 9th grade, we're just us too. We're having Blink 182 and Slipknot.
But
And you're
weirdly,
just
I was
doing
having
it.
the same thing
Yeah.
with him because his story, I was like, that's how I grew up. It was like only Christian music.
Really?
so it's
Yeah.
like an
But my
X.
parents were super into music before I was born.
Yeah.
And then it was only Christian. I grew up with my grandma, but same deal. And then like around like 8th grade, I just started discovering real
Yeah.
music. And it was from a video game soundtrack that I really started getting into it.
Whoa.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
Oh, that's a great
Dude.
soundtrack.
Best soundtrack of any game.
That's so
Well,
good.
You guys should do an elevator, and we'll do an elevator.
okay?
Oh, dear God.
I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that.
But no, I did.
Keep going.
I did the. I'm sorry this is taking so long.
No,
I'm
no,
like
we're
getting
on a
on so many.
podcast.
Talking is what
okay,
we're here for.
perfect. Okay, perfect. I feel like I'm
we don't
also
know what else
speaking
to talk about.
Speaking Japanese.
right now. But no, I did that thing for a while. I had the whole side swoop, or sweatshirts and ripped jeans to school and everything, like it was 1994.
That's when he joined the band.
But wait, did you ever do the button up with the white long sleeve shirt underneath? Because that's real nice.
I didn't do that.
That's in style now.
Is
low-key.
it?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
it
is.
is. It
It
is.
is. I
Whenever I
promise
see a
you.
picture of me in 7th grade with a long white sleeve, white t-shirt under, I'm like, bro, with the baggy jeans and Osiris shoes.
I actually will probably wear that as soon as it gets like semi
He will
outside.
No, I will. I know he will.
Yeah.
That's for warmth, though.
Yeah.
Not style.
It is. Ugh. Ooh.
Anyways,
Those
Yeah, what
pizza
happened?
rolls went hit different.
Wait, what happened next?
So this
I'm on the
was
edge of my seat.
this was when everything shifted.
Ooh.
Can we get a sound effect for that, Jamie?
Yeah.
Thank you.
He got an idea.
Ba-ding.
That's what. Wait, say it again.
This is when everything shifted. Wes, can we get a clip of a light bulb over my head here? So I joined the band my sophomore year of high school. I was 16. I was kind of waning off the pop punk thing because it was just like that was all I listened to. It was like my dad with Fish, except my dad never waned off of it.
He never grew up.
And so I just kind of got to this point where I was like, I'm kind of bored of doing this, and I'd quit my other my pop punk band that I was singing for, and so I didn't really know what to do. And then I discovered this album. I was just curious one day, and because it had come out when I was in 6th grade, and I had listened to it and didn't like it. I didn't get it at all. The album was Blonde by Frank Ocean. It's still my favorite album of all time. There you go. Blonde counter number 2 for this interview. For
I
those,
was mouthing that to the camera before you said it. I was like, it's gonna be Blonde.
but it really did change my life because it really it opened me up to like the Black and urban community, and that really I feel like is where a lot of the greatest music of the 21st century was made, in that like Black community with Black struggles.
Sorry,
I'm
do you mean the
obviously
20th century? Or do you mean the 21st?
I mean the 21st.
Both,
Like, and,
honestly.
yeah, both.
Tell me
honestly,
more.
like rock, R&B, that, like all of that stuff really inspired me because there's just so much soul that I've been trying to. I can't really tap into it because, 000 on Photoshop skin, but like, there's so much emotion and richness to it that just like inspired me. And so I got into Frank Ocean. I really loved his stuff. Marvin Gaye, I've been getting really into recently. Like the whole R&B, gospel, hip hop, that kind of thing is where I'm at right now. And it's kind of just continued from there.
Nice. Did you just give a hexadecimal code? For
Yeah, he
your...
gave a
Yeah, I
hex
did.
code for his
I
skin
did give
color.
a hex code for my skin
But then
color.
you only did 4.
Oh, is there 6?
Zero,
Oh,
zero,
There's
zero,
6 in
it's
the
a
hex code.
code. Yeah.
00001. Wait.
Probably.
Maybe. Yeah. Wesley, could you fact check what 00001 looks like? There are things on the internet where you can look at that.
Riley, pull up a picture of a hex code 0001.
And the thing is, I
Nice.
know he's actually doing it. That's,
He is, I can see
So
it.
tell me,
So he is.
we're getting somewhat close to our time before we got to ask you a very important question and
yeah.
swap to the other guys. We got a few more minutes. So before we do, tell me about what your vision of the band is going forward, what you're doing now. I know you guys, I was a little confused because when I was 0001 is black. Oh.
You
Wait, whoa.
son of a-
I didn't know my hex codes. I didn't know my hex codes. I'm sorry. Please don't cancel me.
He's not a graphic designer. I promise.
You want to try that again?
I'm only an amateur graphic designer. I'm at 99999.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I
That's not what
ended
I
up
meant,
in
that's not what I
this
meant.
situation.
Why was that,
was a
actually the
great-
perfect?
That was
like,
a great cue.
I
That was
just-
a perfect button
I just
push.
picked a random one.
Well done, Connor.
Oh, that's so funny.
Okay, yeah, 999 is gray. Wesley, if you can find his
find
roughly
skin tone exactly.
as a hex, so we can correct the record.
Yeah, can we correct
We
what I
reverse image search Trevor's like skin.
Okay, the hex code is what is it?
Oh, it's F F F F F F. That's right.
Oh,
That's
I
right.
forgot the
All
letters.
zeros is black, all F's is white. Why do you guys know this?
We both do graphic design.
Apparently,
well, he's way
they don't
better
know
at
it,
it.
Ryan. They clearly
Yeah.
don't.
I don't know that. I don't know the hex codes, but
He's way better at it than I am.
yeah, I'm graphic design a little bit, but
Nice to do this stuff for the band.
yeah.
Nice.
I grew up. I learned how to do that by making. I told you I was into sports. Kind of how I got like into creative stuff was like I started making like custom Madden NFL like Madden 12 covers, and I would like I looked up YouTube videos on like how to make those on Photoshop. So that's how I started like doing that.
You know, of all the guys in your band, you were the one I would least guess is into sports.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you. Actually, fun fact: I started at. Okay, don't.
He's literally wearing a wrestling shirt.
I started
you are
at quarterback
saying this-
over one of the backups for Kentucky, Kentucky football team in middle school. I started over him at quarterback.
Destin
That
Wade.
might does that mean something? I don't do sports.
I mean, he plays college football,
Nice.
but yeah, so kind of.
So what I'm hearing
You
is
must
you're
be so
good.
fast.
But see, here's the thing. He was in 7th grade. I was in 8th grade. So, yeah, he was way better than me, but I was just in 8th grade.
But you're the older
So,
one.
but I still like to, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
So,
don't qualify it like that.
Yeah, I just,
Just leave it with the one line and walk away.
I still can't believe I said hex code 00.
Okay, so I noticed when I first talked to you about coming on the show, it was a few months ago, and you guys were posting something about doing something in LA.
Yeah.
And then I was like, did they move to LA? Did they live here? What's going on? So what's going on with the band? Where are you headed? What you doing?
definitely
what did
not.
you do in Los Angeles?
Definitely not moving to LA.
Definitely not.
Is that because it's the worst place on the face of the planet?
Yes.
That's a good reason.
Listen, I love anybody who likes us that lives in LA.
Anywhere.
We love you. I personally do not like LA. As a place, people are great. But yeah, we needed some time after we played some shows there. And so I think we all just needed some time to get away from LA and just like not think about it because of like
We had a
how
bad
that trip
experience.
was. It just wasn't a great trip overall. But yeah,
Was it
I
because
really
everybody
like.
was a liar and
Yes.
told you they were going to make
Right.
you famous, but
Well,
we
it's
just
worse.
out there
They're
trying to
very
steal money
rude.
It's
from you?
because everyone there
All the sound guys.
The city smells bad.
sucked. The city smells bad.
Look, I'm a nice guy, but the sound guys there just all had terrible attitudes.
Yeah.
And were just like really rude for no reason. And we came back home and like the sound guy was like actually trying to help us and was actually on time and doing his job. And we were like, oh my gosh, this is awesome.
Nice people exist again.
Yes.
exactly.
The South.
Yeah. So
I know.
We'll stop that one there, but that is yeah. But for the future, I think we've got a lot of fun stuff happening. This new EP is kind of, we haven't like fully announced it yet, but it is kind of like the first part of a bigger story at play. And so we're really excited to do that because we've never been like this ahead of the game when it comes to like releases. And it's the first like project that we've gotten to like actually professionally record not in a bedroom. So Trevor's drums for the first time are
Yes.
actually on our songs. Honest was the first song that Trevor's drums were on. So yeah, we're gonna be putting that out in the near future and hopefully playing some more shows and yeah, one day we'll hopefully get to play more shows and get to go to other countries and
Headline Glastonbury.
headline
was a-
Glastonbury. We'll open for Oasis one day, and that'll be awesome. And me and Liam Gallagher
Oasis
will
needs to
hug.
open for us, bro.
That's
Liam
something.
Gallagher.
That's something Oasis would say.
Yeah,
And you know what? That is something they would say.
No, they would not.
know what?
Oasis. I love the Gallaghers, but they would not like us.
Oh, they would hate us.
That's not rock and roll. That is
Yeah.
not rock and roll.
Yeah. How'd you get into
It's
Oasis?
rubbish.
Talk to me about Oasis because you said in the room earlier that they're like one of your favorites.
Yeah, they're my favorite band of all time, and I honestly don't even know where it started. I think like I'd always heard Wonderwall, obviously, and I kind of just like when I pictured Oasis, like I just kind of pictured them as like two white guys just being like, and then I like heard one other like I was just like listening. I was like, I'm just gonna listen to the What's the Story, Morning Glory song that the album that Wonderwall's on, and I listened to the first song, Hello, and I was like, it's like a full on like rock song, and I was like, this is not what. Like I just like wasn't expecting that, and so it captivated
What's
me.
great about that song too is that they start off with the opening chords of
Yes, it starts with Wonderwall. Yeah,
Yeah, and so like, oh, is this gonna be Wonderwall? We bought the album
Yeah.
for this, and then it's like,
yeah.
See,
Yeah.
Connor, I need to introduce you something that you'll love even more. It's called the Beatles.
I love the Beatles. Listen, I listened to the Beatles first, and I was super into the Beatles for a while, but I just like, I don't know, because I really like dream pop and like the like 90s sort of like what is that, shoegaze sound, and like
yeah.
I don't know what it is about Oasis, but there's some similarity there, like
Yeah.
with that, and
Yeah, it's very Wall of Sound.
so it kind of like takes that and then it meets it with like the Beatles type of stuff, and it's really catchy, and so like all of that together, it's just the perfect storm of everything
Trevor.
that I like.
Reach down and grab that circle next to you.
Oh no,
What?
To your left hand, make it further there. That.
what is that?
Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club
No
Band,
way.
The Beatles. Oh, this is like the film. Oh, that's crazy.
It's not film. It's tape.
Oh, it's
It's
tape.
I can't wait for Jack to
that's
see
a
that.
1/4 inch reel to reel.
So how expensive do you think this is?
I paid $40.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
And see that machine behind you? That's what it
Plays on that?
It plays on
oh,
that.
That's sick.
plays
Yeah.
on- that's crazy.
really sick.
What are these ones?
Those are all blank. I use
Oh.
those for like effects, for like
Oh, I
slap,
got you,
slap
got you.
delay. I use
Yeah.
that for like delay and a whole bunch of different
that's
little
sick.
random effects.
I also
Dope.
I love this lava lamp right here. It's very nice. It's a nice touch.
Thank you. Wesley picked that out. Yeah. But
Wait, Wesley,
Oh no.
what's going on with Wesley?
I need him to empty the room.
Oh, right.
Oh,
We're
no.
emptying the room for a very important question that the others can't hear. That's right.
Oh no.
I can't.
Can't what?
I'm scared.
Just let it simmer.
Here's the thing. We have one question that we ask every guest.
Okay.
And he's right. We have asked every guest. Can I ask you a question? Did we ask this on the first episode with Ryan Steele?
We actually forgot, and when we had him back on, we asked him.
Okay.
Okay, so you've
Sec-
asked everybody
guest.
that you've had
Yes.
on.
Every guest.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the only episode that we didn't ask.
That's true.
If you had to choose,
And you do.
and you do. Now, the important thing about this question is the answer must not come from here.
Come here.
From here. From here.
And for the audio only listeners, Jury pointed to his head, meaning it shouldn't come from the head.
It must
and then,
come.
And I pointed to
hold
my
on,
head.
Hold on. Connor tried to jump the gun and guess the heart. And Trevor pointed to his penis.
That tracks based on everything we've seen thus
He's
far.
18, everyone.
I'm 18, guys. It's okay.
It must come from here.
Okay.
The heart.
Aw.
So that was a good guess earlier.
Yes.
If you had to choose,
And you do.
and you do. Now, what that actually means, coming from your heart, not your head, is I need an answer quickly, instantly. I don't want you to think about it.
Immediately. Right. Thinking about this answer is almost the worst thing you could do.
Right.
Okay.
We want what's deep in your soul.
Your immediate answer.
And because there's two of you, we need you to answer at the same time.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't wait for the other person to answer.
Okay.
There's so much precursor to this question.
Yeah.
If you had to choose,
And you do.
and you do, what would you say is your favorite kind of turtle?
Tortoise.
Chomping. The biting one. The chomping one. What's it called? A snapping.
chomping is your answer.
Is that the actual question?
Yeah, we ask every guest.
Wow.
Yeah, you guys were really bad at it.
I just was not prepared for that.
I didn't
at
know.
all.
There were like so many words going through my mind. It's like, oh, don't
Yeah,
say that on air.
I could see the panic in your eyes.
Of all, I probably could have guessed a million different questions you would have asked before I guessed that was what it was going to
And
be.
that's why it's the best question.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, I do have to point out,
Yeah, point out some things.
one, a tortoise is not a turtle, but we have gotten that
what?
answer before. Tortoise is a completely different species.
You're lying.
It is.
Wesley, can you bring that up?
Can we get a JPEG of a tortoise?
You're telling
right
me
now?
right now that a tortoise is not a turtle?
No, they're
Yes.
tortoises.
I thought a tortoise was a male turtle.
No. Completely different species.
Oh, sweetheart.
Tortoises live on land.
See, we have
Turtles
we
live in
have
the water.
we have these kinds of moments like every couple months where we just say something that we think is
Let's
common
see.
knowledge.
Oh, a turtle versus tortoise. All tortoises are turtle. Oh, what the hell?
No.
It says all tortoises
This
are
is not
turtles.
accurate.
Yeah, who's a
not
college
all turtles
dropout
are
now?
tortoises. That's from the Museum of Science. Sounds official to
Do
me.
not trust them.
Hold
It's
on.
been known for our whole lives that tortoises and
Leslie,
turtles are different things.
They were
on,
hating on me.
Was this actually the best answer? Did he just
Well,
change our lives?
We've gotten tortoise before,
Wesley,
and we've
we
said
need
this
more
every time.
fact-checking. Okay. Are they the same? Tortoise have more rounded and dome shells, where turtles have thinner, more water dynamic shells. Turtle shells are more streamlined in swimming. One major difference is the tortoise spends most of their time on land. Turtles are average lifespan.
So they're considered turtles.
Are they?
That paragraph sounds like no, and that is from the Nashville Zoo.
But the Museum
But
of Science said that they are.
Are they in
science
Nashville?
I don't know how they wouldn't be turtles.
But secondly,
The science says.
you know what else isn't a
maybe
turtle?
so.
Chomping.
Jumping is not a turtle.
Let's zero in on that.
Now there is a snapping.
How did I get all the? How did I get all the heat? And
no,
he said
no, you just
jumping.
got the early heat.
You
the real heat's coming against
no,
you.
no,
right now.
He didn't just say chomping. It was like 30 seconds of silence while he racks his brain.
The longest anyone ever took to pick a turtle.
Legitimately the longest.
Really?
Oh, and we've asked it like 70 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Well,
Yeah,
Trevor.
well, like,
Trevor has
really-
the record. Trevor
really-
made a record
Really,
today.
the longest, and your answer wasn't a kind of turtle.
Or tortoise.
or a tortoise.
Or tortoise. Yeah, chomping, not a turtle.
Yeah. That's awesome.
However, I loved it. I loved it. Yeah, I think you meant snapping.
yes, that
for
was
sure.
what I meant. Yeah, that's the word that I meant.
But I want to keep chomping
Chomping.
for the record.
That's great.
Oh my God.
Well, guys, thanks for coming on. We're going to go play another. You guys are going to play another song right now, and then we're
Yes.
going to
Yes.
swap to the other two guys. So don't go anywhere. If you hated this interview, stick around.
Sorry,
the next one's
guys.
going to be completely different.
My skin tone is not 000. It is in fact FFFFF.
There will be a lot more
F.
gentlemanness in the next
Yes,
one.
there will be a lot less chaos in the next
I
one.
want to name this episode "My Skin Color is like hashtag FF."
Can we do that so that people just know that I'm not like on the air saying that?
Trevor's going to be doing a YouTube apology after this.
Really?
I'm sorry.
The thing is, anyone who listens to the episode will obviously.
Yeah.
But when we clip that shit, and I'm just kidding, we're not going to do that to you. We're not going to do that to you.
That's the part that's going to get posted on TikTok.
Right? Just him just going 00000. That's me.
Let's go.
So thanks, guys, for coming. What is the next song?
It is The Chain, our cover of The Chain
Yeah.
by Fleetwood
Nice.
Mac.
Listen to the
are still here with the band Light, and we're bringing on Jack and Garrett. First, right off the bat, Jack, you are wearing a Taking Care of Business lightning bolt emblem,
Yes,
which
sir.
is the official logo of Elvis Presley.
Yes, sir, it is.
Where'd you get that from?
So I actually got that straight from Graceland.
Nice.
Me and my girlfriend Lydia, we went there for my birthday. We stayed at the hotel right next door, the guest house.
That's cool.
And we got to the... So in Graceland, there's not just the mansion, but there's like this complex where they have all like the museum exhibits and all that. And each one has a little gift shop attached to each one. We got to the expensive gift shop.
Nice.
And they had like these nice like bedazzled like sequins purses. They had his like rings, like replicas of his rings, his jewelry. And I knew going in that I wanted to get a TCB pendant since
Yeah, you had to.
you know, you gotta. And I found this one. It was just classic. Wasn't too shiny, not too loud. And I found out there that they actually make these replicas with the same exact mold they used to make Elvis's. Yeah. And like the rest of the TCB band. Dang. So it was like it wasn't the same jeweler, obviously, who made this, but it was his mold that they like, I guess, got or had.
Dang.
And they just used the same mold.
And he
this
never
is-
took it off since.
Yeah, real. I have not.
So this is news to me. So I didn't know TCB is an Elvis thing.
We
I've
went
never
to
heard-
Graceland together, and
Yeah,
we
but that was
learned that at
that
the
was
same time.
2012, right?
When I learned that,
I
I
was in
was
second
with
grade.
you.
Oh, I didn't know.
You were in
I've
second
said-
grade?
I was in
That's all.
second grade in 2012. Yeah.
Well, all right. Now I'm sad.
So sorry, I should have. I was in second grade when you guys are in second grade.
That's
How about
right.
that?
Yeah, there it is.
That's right. In 1994.
Yeah, I was alive then.
Yeah, for
man.
sure. You're definitely alive then. In
Yeah,
second grade.
remember, yeah, we saw Pulp Fiction together. Remember that?
Yeah, we did.
Damn, way to pull that out of your ass.
We said that Tarantino guy had some potential, man. He has some great potential. I hope he keeps making movies.
Oh,
Man, but I've used that phrase a billion times.
Taking
Oh,
care of
Taking Care of
Or
Business?
no,
Oh,
just
yeah.
TCB. I've said like
TCB.
TCB so many
Yeah.
times.
He knows what I'm talking
And
about.
I didn't ever. I guess I've known that at some point, according to you, but that's long,
Yeah, we learned it
long
at
gone
the
in
same
the.
time.
I mean, I doubt he invented it, but I mean, he sure.
No
as
one has
hell
ever
put a
said those
logo on
words
it.
before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you guys get associated with those last two?
I mean, we all went to high school together, which is the basic answer. But I think, yeah, the first guy I met, because I didn't live here originally. Like I moved in like to the high school where I eventually met them. So I was a sophomore, and the first guy I met, I think I met Trevor. I met Trevor first, and I think you were second because of Footloose. But yeah, I was just the new kid, and it was a crazy coincidence because like it was like the third day where I was just like keeping to myself because it's nerve-wracking when you're in high school in a totally new high school.
Yeah.
And
And did you transfer in from another school?
yeah, I
Where'd
did.
you come from?
I came from a town right outside of Indianapolis, Carmel, and that was like I think it was like 4,000 people in that high school. So it was nice to go from like a much smaller high school from there, but like it was still weird because it's just a totally new environment. But yeah, the second day, I was like, okay, I need to talk to somebody. So I'm just going to sit with a random group of people for lunch and just talk to them just to say I talked to somebody today. And Trevor was in that front group on the lunch tables. And immediately I heard him talking about music because he was in like some pop punk, Blink-182 cover thing, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you guys play music? I play music. And like me and Trevor for a while, like I was just doing bands with him, like pop punk stuff. I did a crappy like thrash metal band because I was super into thrash metal in high school. And Trevor played drums. So we were just like doing a bunch of projects together before that. And then Jack, I met him at callbacks for Footloose. And I remember we started talking because you had vans that were R2 and C-3PO. Like a
Oh,
picture.
yeah, I did.
Because I was like, oh, he likes Star Wars. Nice shoes, dude. And yeah,
What's funny is you probably like, I was so, like looking back, it's funny. I was so nervous during those callbacks. So you probably just saw me sitting like,
yeah, you were pondering, and
like shaking.
I didn't notice that. I was just like, okay, he's wearing Star Wars shoes. Talk about that.
So you guys are Star Wars fans.
I'd say me and Jack are the nerdiest members of the band Light.
Yeah,
We're the
that checks
nerdy
out.
half of the band Light.
The nerdy. Okay, so you're
Yeah.
the Star Wars.
Yeah.
I assume video games.
Yeah.
I'm a
like-
little less so video games.
Yeah.
I grew up on like Nintendo and that was it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
used to be a big video. I'm not.
Which
I don't play.
Nintendo?
My first console was the GameCube.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's respectable.
I will say it was a hand-me-down.
Yeah.
I guess the first one I was like conscious for was the Wii, but that's the first
Sure.
one I remember playing was the GameCube.
Yeah, that's super respectable system.
Mine
Before
was,
like the new era. You know?
Yeah.
I had a dad who played Call of Duty all the time, so my first was
Really?
the Xbox 360.
Nice.
So
Nice.
yeah,
What? Yeah. So, what kind of music were your guys' parents into? Because I'm thinking you
Not the
guys
same.
had parents that had cooler music tastes.
yeah, I'd say so. Well, how did you get your music taste? Because
Mine wasn't really from my parents. My mom still had like cool music tastes. I mean, cool for like a mom.
Yeah.
Like she was into like Wilco, Modest Mouse, like stuff that was like
Yeah.
kind of with the times, in the early 2000s. But I got into a lot more older music just from, I don't know, just internet, unsupervised internet access. I got into like Elvis a lot, Michael Jackson a
Yeah.
lot.
I feel like you and me would, if we knew each other when we were kids, we would have bonded over Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
We-
no, it was hard, especially in the mid 2000s.
Yeah,
It was hard
yeah.
to find another Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Yeah. My music taste started, and like my passion for music really came from like my dad, because he grew up like with like all the 80s stuff and like was in college in the 90s. So like I got a good amount of like the classic rock, sort of like 80s stuff, and like just sort of like my dad. I developed my dad's mentality of just like listening to really everything. So like country, rap, rock, but like I gravitated towards rock stuff. And like again with the 90s, I got super into like grunge stuff. Like to this day I love like Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, like Soundgarden, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'd say that was really like the basis for my music taste, and I just sort of expanded on that. My mom, I think, I'm going to be honest, I think the only album she has on her phone is the Free U2 album. when they gave everyone that album, I think that's literally the only
Forced
thing
upon
on her phone.
everybody.
Yeah.
What a moment for the world.
Yeah, the fact that we all even remember that happened is insane.
Yeah, it's like, as far as global memories go, it's like 9/11,
COVID.
the YouTube album, and then COVID was the next thing.
Yeah.
No one has ever been so mad at you two.
Yeah.
Like everyone, like they're generally loved, you know?
Yeah. Oh,
Wesley works at Apple, and he says we joke about it at Apple.
oh, yeah.
God.
That's hilarious.
What's funny is like I did not get the outrage. I was like, "Oh, cool,
Free music.
free music."
Yeah, I
And-
mean, yeah, that's how I saw it.
I was like, "Cool, I have a free U2 album." I listened to it on a plane ride. I guess I lived here already because I think I was flying to San Diego. I think, and I was listened to it, and I was like, "Cool."
I just remember when I first saw it pop up on like my like iPod Touch or whatever I had. I thought my first was like, shit, did I accidentally like buy this? Is my mom gonna kill me? Because it was at the time where it was like, she was a little strict about like how much money you could spend buying music on iTunes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I see this new just whole album. I never even bought whole albums. I just bought songs, $1.99. Like that's all I could afford. So to see a whole new album pop up, which was like what, like $10, $15.
Yeah.
I had a little bit of a heart attack. I was like, oh my God, I accidentally bought this. She's gonna kill me.
Yeah, I feel like part of the outrage was like the how dare you assume I want a U2 album on my phone.
Well, it's that
It-
you
it-
can put things on my device
Yeah.
without my permission.
Right.
Yeah, that was kind of the first
Man.
instance of like people like oh, we really don't have a lot of control over
Yeah.
what we thought with the Apple and the iPhones and all that.
They just needed. If they just had a little pop-up dialogue that was like, "Do you want this new U2 album?"
Yeah,
for
just click
free?
yes or no.
Yeah, that would have changed
That would
everything.
that would have solved
Yeah.
the problem for
Yeah,
everybody.
and then because they
Less
did that,
people would hate U2.
Harambe was shot.
Harambe dies.
COVID-19 starts,
COVID-19.
and
Yeah.
Man,
you know it's all part of the timeline.
man. And so when COVID happened for you guys, you were still in high school.
Yeah.
I was a senior.
Yeah. Honestly, part of why that's actually COVID was what really brought us together was
Yeah.
like because when we did High School Musical. Whoa, that was the one after that. When we did Footloose, it it got canceled. Like we didn't get to perform it.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it did really suck.
They didn't get
But-
into this on the last one?
I guess
I
not.
No, we didn't.
But
I mean,
um,
they mentioned Footloose, but not
yeah,
that
but I
you
guess
guys
they didn't
get to
mention
do
it getting canceled. Well, thanks for saving that, guys.
Yeah.
But
Give us
yeah,
some content.
so I think it was. I'll pass this over to you because this is more your story. But I think it was like Connor and Jack just decided, okay, if we can't perform it, then let's just record an album of like all the songs in Footloose and like give it to the cast or whatever.
Yeah. That was kind of the mentality of it, because me and Connor were kind of like the leads. He was, Kevin Bacon. Forgot the character's name.
Ren.
Okay, yeah. He was Ren, and I was the Reverend.
Shaw?
Yeah, Shaw. So we were like the two leads. So we spent a lot of time together just through that. Because before Footloose, the only reason I kind of knew Connor was his sister and my sister were like best friends in high school.
Yeah.
And I remember my sister was like, "Hey, there's Emma's brother is doing music now. You should," because my sister knew I was like into music, was in a band in high school. And she was like, "Yeah, he's doing music now. You should like work with him, write some stuff." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that sounds cool." So I listened to like his first few. He has like a solo thing on Spotify. He didn't mention it for a good reason, but
he's got some good
stuff. He's got
songs.
some good stuff.
He's
But
got some good songs.
I remember the early stuff he released. I remember I was like, "Oh yeah, check this out, Connor." And I checked it out. I was like, "Okay, cool, man. It's all right." And that idea kind of just went down. Like I was just like, "Okay, yeah, I'll work with him later." But then the band I was in high school, we had this show we were doing on Halloween, and he approached us about like, "Hey, I've never done a live show before. Can I like open for y'all? But I don't really have a band, so can y'all like back me up as well?" And I thought it was pretty fun because he was into a lot different music than we were at the time. He was into like Shawn Mendes and whatever
Yeah.
like the current pop, frat boy stuff.
That's the case for like all four of us, really. We
Yeah.
just all came from like so many different musical backgrounds and just
Yeah.
like meshed together, and somehow it worked.
Yeah, because I remember we played that show, we backed him up, and for some reason, like me and him, I was just on guitar for him, but for some reason we like worked really well together for that one show, and so I came around to the idea like, okay, let's actually like write, let's go in the studio, do some stuff, and that was around the time we're kind of caught up with my last story was with Footloose getting
Yeah.
canceled
This is
with the album.
This is like a Chris Nolan movie. It's
Yeah,
a very
it's jumping
complex
around.
story.
But now we've reached the center where it's Footloose is canceled. We're still going to make like the album. And that was kind of a part of us like working together more. So we recorded like, Footloose, I Need a Hero, the first few songs, and then
Tell him where I came in.
yeah, oh yeah. And then there's one song on the Footloose soundtrack. It's a Sammy Hagar track, Girl Gets Around. And at the time I was doing most of the guitar for this like Footloose album project, but all Connor had was a right-handed Fender and I didn't have any like electric guitar. So I was just kind of making my way.
Are you
I'm left-handed.
left-handed?
Yeah,
Okay.
I should have mentioned that. I don't know why I didn't. I'm left-handed. I couldn't play that well. So
Why
we got
didn't you bring that up in the beginning?
That should have been
I'm
the first thing you
left-handed,
said.
yeah. Hello, I'm Jack Glenn. This is my left
You have
hand.
to.
I
That's
use it
like
often.
being a sex offender. You have to tell people right away.
Yeah,
like,
it's the same thing, Ryan. Definitely the same
Yeah,
thing.
totally.
or like a cop.
Yeah, do you have to
You
like
have to tell us if
register
you're
on
a
a
cop.
website if you're left-handed?
I mean, give it 20 years. I don't know. But yeah, so we got this Sammy Hagar track, heavy guitars, stuff that I'm not capable of doing. So I remember another Chris Nolan backtrack, back to the callback where we started talking.
I watching Tenet right now.
I know it feels like watching
we're either doing an amazing and complex job at telling
or we're
stories, or just
ADHD and
Yeah.
just bouncing
Oh, no,
around.
and then
And then this happened. And then, yeah, no. But I remember we talked about music, talked about he could play guitar. I looked up his Instagram. He had a lot of cool guitar covers he was doing. So I go to Connor, I'm like, hey, Garrett, he's in the show too. He's really good at guitar. Here's his Instagram. And so we brought Garrett in for that track. He blew us away just from like the first take of the solo. And that's when we started doing stuff. It was branded Light. It wasn't the band Light yet. But we wrote like... Sorry. We wrote like 2 songs that were like 80s-ish because that was kind of the vibe we were going for right now because it was Footloose. Because we had all these 80s songs we were recording. We were like, let's do some original stuff, but it still had that 80s kind of flavor to it.
yeah.
So then we recorded those, and we kind of left it at that because I was going to go to college. Like, at this point, high school, what would have been high school, was over for me. Summer was ending. I was about to go to college in New Orleans.
Oh, wow.
So it was kind of just like, all right, we'll record these tracks, and then that's it. I'm hitting
Yeah.
the road. And so I was there for a semester.
Yeah.
I was not there. long.
He had a bad semester.
Yeah, it wasn't a great time in college. It was basically, to sum it up, it was middle of COVID. I went fall 2020. That was my first semester.
Perfect timing.
And I was a music major at that. So I get to my dorm, not allowed to have a roommate or anyone in the dorm because COVID was at its peak. All my music classes was over Zoom. And I had this little like Casio beginner's keyboard. And I had to like just position my laptop mic kind of close to the speaker. And so every time there'd be like a playing exam, it would just sound awful. And it was just not a good time. There was other stuff too, but that's for another podcast.
Yeah,
2
that's
hours.
We need to write a book about that.
A memoir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually I dropped out, came back, but I didn't tell them I was coming. I just said I was back for Christmas break. I was like, yeah, I'm back. I leave January 2nd or something. January 1st comes around, we're hanging out, we're like recording some stuff, and they're like, man, it sucks you're leaving tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not. And I didn't tell them until that moment. They were like, no way.
It was like the scene in Wolf of Wall Street where he's like, I'm not leaving.
I'm not fucking leaving. But yeah. So once we knew I was kind of like back for good, we were like, okay, let's take this seriously.
Yeah.
So the one thing we didn't have a drummer. What we were using for the first few tracks was just a keyboard MIDI, like, just tapping on your finger. Yeah, basically that was it. I didn't know any drummers, at least ones I would want to have in the band.
And I did. And so I bothered them. Pass it to me. And I did. And so I just said, oh, let's audition Trevor. Please audition Trevor. Because I already knew Trevor a bunch by then. And we practiced like one song together. And then we were like, you didn't even need like the generic thing you see in movies where it's like, all right, band huddle. It was just like, all right, let's go on with practice. And then we realized that Light was too vague on Spotify, and there are a lot of like rappers that go by Light, so you got to scroll down through all the rappers that are called Light. And so we changed it to the band Light, and the band Light, and that's a lot easier to look up.
So we never actually talked about why is it called Light.
Well, I think it was when we were recording those two songs, we were like, oh yeah, we should probably come up with a name. And I don't know exactly where it came from, but it was just like, what I remember it as, Connor, like, you might even say something different, but what I remember it as is like, we were just kind of spitballing, and then like Connor was like, okay, let's think of like our hometown. Think about like, where did we all grow up? What's the name of your hometown? And I said Brighton. I grew up in, I was born in Michigan, lived in Brighton, Michigan, then moved to Indiana. That story.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Brighton, Michigan. So I said, what about Brighton? Because that kind of sounds like a rock band name. I don't know.
Kind of does.
Yeah. And
Brighton Rock Queen.
Yeah, if I ever do a solo project.
Yeah, there it is.
But then we said, oh yeah, what about Bright? And then I think it was Connor or somebody said, what about Light? So we just rolled with Light for a while. Because it kind of sounded cool.
Yeah, we couldn't come up with anything better.
Yeah.
Like, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with your story. I remember it happening like that too.
Yeah. Connor,
I'll
might
fact
say-
check you. You're
Okay.
right. You're good.
Okay.
Wesley, fact check this. Can you go back into archives of their band practices?
He actually pulls one up.
Jamie, pull up the camera in Connor's room on January 2nd, 2021.
Oh man.
I don't know if you'd want to see that better.
No, yeah.
So you're not from here, but you're
No.
from Spring Hill or not this area.
I was born in Mississippi, but I moved like in the Middle Tennessee area when I was 4. So I've basically been here all my life.
Okay, and all you guys grew up mostly in Spring Hill, ish.
I grew up mostly in like Indiana and that
Okay, so
stuff.
you were
Like, I
later.
was,
You moved
yeah,
later,
yeah, yeah.
Okay, but also like a smaller town because Spring Hill's not exactly big.
Right.
So we grew up in San Diego, which is a massive city. Everybody knows the name.
Right,
And then I
right.
moved to Nashville.
You sound
Massive.
so arrogant.
Because I am. Massive city.
Yeah, I'm from San Diego. You heard of it?
60% of the time, it works every time.
Now that quote doesn't exactly
doesn't
make
quite
sense,
line up there.
but it's from Anchorman, the movie about San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you've never seen Anchorman, you should.
Hello, San Diego. I've seen Anchorman, yeah.
I've often wondered, especially recently, I've been watching The Gilmore Girls, which I
Yeah.
highly recommend. It's
My
actually really
my
good.
girlfriend's making me watch that.
It's
it is
actually
pretty good.
And they're in a small town,
Mm-hmm.
and I've wondered like, what is it actually like living in a small town? I've only ever lived in these big cities everybody knows.
Yeah, the thing with Spring Hill is it's like so close to Franklin. Like most of the time, it's either like you go to the Walmart.
I was going to mention Walmart.
Yeah,
That was the first thing I thought of.
Walmart or like Target is the hangout spot in Spring Hill, and if you want to do something actually cool, you just go up to Franklin.
Yeah.
That's really
what
how
about
it is.
The something goat coffee.
Fanning
Oh yeah,
Goat?
Fanning Goat.
Fanning
Fanning
Goat.
Goat's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I've gone there a few times. So our good friend Coe, 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 he's also from San Diego. We were in a band with him, and he moved to Spring Hill.
Right, which I make fun of him
And
for.
so
It's
when
like
I
he moved across the
visited
country
him-
to move to Spring Hill, Middle Tennessee. Nashville's right there.
Yeah, it is stupid. He tried to move to Nashville and he moved to Spring Hill. I don't know what he's doing. But that being said, when I visited him, I went to the Fanning Goat and brought coffee, and I got the maybe I got the Nacho Libre. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Either way, I got one that it was spicy.
Yeah.
The Fanning Goat has good stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, it does.
They're like homemade Pop-Tart pastries.
I've never had
You
that.
haven't had
I've never had
Homemade
that.
Pop Tarts.
Yeah. I don't know what they call them like actually, but they're basically like toaster strudels.
Yeah.
Pastry- homemade.
Tarts.
DIY toaster strudel.
I
Yeah.
feel like Spring Hill has like some hidden gems like that.
Yeah, it's as much as we dislike having
Yeah.
nothing to do. It's a nice place to live for sure.
Yeah.
And I guess because you're so close, you're not so isolated like a lot of small towns.
exactly.
So it doesn't really
Yeah.
feel that way.
Yeah.
Okay. But you also came from a small town in Indiana, it sounded like, right?
Oh no, Carmel is
Oh, it's massive.
definitely not a small
Okay.
town. It was like the best way I can. Can you pull up the high school? Let's pull up a
Jamie
picture of the high
sure
school.
can.
Jamie, pull up Carmel High School. Yeah, when I lived there, it was sort of like just starting to pop up. But like these days, I think it's the wealthiest city outside of Indianapolis, probably like in Indiana. So, and again, like I went to a school of like 4,000 people, so it was just like
Okay.
It's a
it
big
was
high
a
school.
city.
That's big, yeah.
It's great.
Well, how big was your high school, Jerry?
I'm not sure how big the school was. My graduating class was 1,500-ish.
Okay. Well, if
So-
you did the math, that would come out to 6,000.
But it doesn't quite work that way. We had a lot of dropouts.
Okay, yeah. Oh wow, it's went up.
5,300.
Yeah. Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, the first high school I went to 2 high schools. The first one,
He failed the
was-
first one.
the first high school I went to was a brand new school. So when I came, I was a freshman, obviously. Then there were sophomores, and that was it. They didn't have juniors or seniors yet.
Wow.
And so I don't know how many people it was, but I feel like it was like 2,000 or something, like
Which,
Steel Canyon.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little smaller, but still pretty big.
Yeah,
we
you guys know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
But
Yeah.
in our area, there was a bunch of different high schools, and I feel like 3,000-ish was the average high school size. But the second high school I went to had like 150 people.
Really? Like everyone?
Maybe it was only 100 people.
Yeah, it
My
was real
graduating
tiny.
class was 25.
That's
Yeah.
a classroom.
That was
Yeah,
okay.
That's barely a
That's a
school.
whole
Right?
classroom.
That was a big difference.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
God, I'm so
I
glad
had a
didn't do that.
I was a standout in that yearbook. Except you know the standout I got? It was me and my friend Matt.
I hate that guy.
Thank you. Wow. What a callback. That doesn't make sense to you or even any of our listeners.
No, just him and I only.
Yeah.
That's a callback
That's,
for us.
For like 15 years ago.
But anyway, my friend Matt, we in the yearbook, we were most likely to be best friends forever.
And where's Matt now?
Yeah.
He did text me on my birthday, unlike some people.
Oh.
I did
Is
a
there like a-
whole
where's
day.
a-
for your
wait,
birthday.
hold on.
You did go.
We need a suspenseful
Hit- yeah,
sound.
yeah, please do.
Which button?
Just guess.
Yeah.
What the hell is even
There
that?
it is.
Oh, the double button
Oh, you
press.
did too. Do the purple one.
Purple.
There it is.
There you go.
Yeah.
X-Files.
He didn't text him on his birthday.
You're right. I didn't text you on your birthday. You're right. But that's because we celebrated your birthday the week before.
You did come
and we
to
did
my
all the
birthday.
things.
That's true.
That's right. We floated down a river. We went to an escape room.
We did.
We had a barbecue.
Yep. We had another barbecue.
And we had two
two
barbecues in the
barbecues.
same day.
Nice.
So
you-
every year for my birthday, we go to a cabin for like a weekend. But this year, because I'm getting married.
Oh, wow. I'm going to guess if that's a good... Oh,
Oh,
You turned it
get
off.
again.
yeah. That worked. Getting married.
That was a pretty good one. Because of that, we decided to save money, not do the cabin, and so my birthday's theme was cabin, or it was
The things we did at the cabin.
it was like without the cabin, birthday without the cabin. So we hiked, floated down
Oh
the
yeah,
river.
I also went on that hike. It was like
You
100
sure did.
degrees.
And we did 2 barbecues, and we went to an escape room, and the theme of the escape room was a cabin where you try to find gold. Yeah, so
When's your
anyway,
birthday?
This was like a
August
week ago.
26th.
This was last week, like a week and a half ago.
1987.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
isn't that disgusting? He's so old.
Yeah, what year were you born, Jerry?
1987.
That's right.
But I'm only 35 and you're 36.
Yeah, that's true. His birthday's in November.
Gotcha.
But anyways, we got off on a weird tangent about our birthdays.
Yeah.
But that's
When's
fine.
your guys' birthdays?
July 17th. I'm a Cancer.
January 30th, Aquarius.
Didn't they shift all of them?
I think that was fake. I think that
I
got
feel like I
debunked.
saw something that they like added a new one, but like I didn't bother to
Yeah,
like
no one
fact check
cared.
that.
Yeah, I mean, full on. I'm definitely on the boat of that's all bullshit. But if you like it, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean like sometimes it's like kind of right and it's cool, but I'm not gonna like
Base your life
praise it.
around that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna base my life on a fortune cookie. You know what I mean? That's basically what it is.
Wes, you're a Cancer.
Yes, I'm a Cancer.
Wesley, can you look up what the forecast, the horoscope, the horcast? What's the
Whoa.
What's the horcast for a Cancer today?
Oh, he had to step
Oh, he
away
has
to
to-
reset the cameras. Here
And
he
then
goes.
look up the
Oh,
horcast
camera's down.
for Cancers and Aquarius.
No,
We're
you-
gonna see what it's
Yeah,
like.
you guys
boy.
didn't get the spiel that camera goes to sleep and he has to press a button.
Oh, gotcha.
I thought I was like, were we just not recording the whole
If
time?
if the horoscope is like you're gonna be on a talk show today, I will believe.
Oh my god!
I
Yeah,
will believe
I'm all
horoscopes.
in.
Yeah, I will be 100% down.
You're gonna have a day today. That's what it usually is, and you're like, oh my god.
Oh,
You're in observation mode today.
Take stock of your aspirational progress. The Aquarius moon sizes up your development. If you're not happy with where you're at, something could click to change that. Coming on our show.
I'm
Oh my
being,
God.
I'm being observed. I'm being
Yeah.
observed right
That
now.
is- that
That's
is-
crazy.
That is vague enough where I could apply that
yeah,
to my
yeah.
life.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Go to
But-
Aquarius for Jack.
What's funny is the so my wife loves all that kind of stuff. She's,
Right.
she's
Yeah,
not,
my
she doesn't
girlfriend
like
does
really
too.
believe it, but she likes it. And I'm very anti anything that I'm like, if it's not based in science, then it's not real.
Gotcha.
And what I do, and I do this exclusively to make her upset, my wife, which is when we go like a Chinese restaurant and they give you a fortune cookie, I don't read the fortune.
You
I
just
open
eat
the
You
cookie.
just eat the cookie.
And she wants to read
With
my
the paper.
fortune, and I do not let her read it. I take it,
Oh my God,
and I
you
drop
are a
it
psycho.
in my drink.
Nice.
Get it?
Keep that up, Wesley.
And I do that exclusively to make her mad, and it just makes me feel so good
How-
inside.
Dude, how dare you? I hope my sister divorces you.
I think what would be funnier is if you just ate the cookie whole. Just,
I was listening with the paper.
and you're like, what about the fortune? And you're like, what?
I ate the
There's a
fortune.
fortune in there?
Now you'll
Did you
know.
guys watch Rick and Morty?
Yeah,
No.
I've seen.
Did you see the one with the fortune cookies?
I've only seen the Pickle
I
Rick episode.
probably
I'm
have.
good.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. Wesley, give me back the Aquarius fortune. Sorry. Okay. Dear Aquarius, your job is affecting your health and maybe increasing your stress levels.
Let's talk about the band.
That's all jobs. All jobs
Because
are
the
that way.
moon is in Aquarius today, you may feel agitated and tense.
Because of the band.
Take care of your health. Since your expenses will rise as a result of your health. Don't worry about your job. Just put your heart and soul into it, and your hard work will pay off. When you're going through a difficult period, your family and loved ones will always be there for you and will always be
Aw.
supportive. The colors red is lucky for you today, and 3:30 to 5 p.m. are auspicious for you. Those are the times you were preparing for this show. So, oh my God.
How come I got the
Jack,
negative
are
one? What
you-
the fuck
are
is
you
up with
okay?
that? Why'd
Are
you
you
get you got the
okay?
positive one?
Yeah, I'm shining today,
I
and I'm being
guess.
observed.
I mean, the Aquarius
glowing.
moon. I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of into all that stuff. I'm not like
Jury, you want to split this
full
one?
into it, but like I don't know. I like, I like it. I like the little symbols.
Yeah, the symbols are cool.
I've my girlfriend's on a necklace. The Aries.
Oh, yeah.
She's got mine. The Aquarius.
Yeah.
Do you wear it?
I used to, but then it rusted and it looked kind of weird. And then I switched to a necklace that has her first initial on it, L for Lydia. And then they kept making fucking jokes like, "Oh, you always got the L on him.
He's
You
always taking an L."
Always taking an L." And then I was like,
Like,
"Fuck
"I'm
you guys,"
taking
and
this
I took it off. It
So hold
rusted
on.
too.
You
but-
let them peer pressure you into taking off
No,
your
no,
necklace?
no. I kept it on even when they would say shit, and then that one rusted again. I got really cheap jewelry. I don't know. I'm too poor to get like the nice. This is the most I've spent on jewelry. Like,
But you
That was
are,
an investment.
But you are a man who wears jewelry.
yeah. I mean,
Which
when
is-
I remember to get it out, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you just said investment, that reminded me, and you'll know this. You guys probably will know it soon. So now that I'm getting married, I'm looking into wedding things, and the thing that is cracking me up is everything for weddings advertises itself as an investment.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like venues.
it's
Have you,
all
you seen
lies.
this?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've been looking at
You're in the
Thinking about
world.
it.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm moving around.
yeah, making moves.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
you guys live
Shout out
together.
Lydia.
yeah.
Yeah, shout out
Yeah,
Lydia.
you want to know the secret? It's not.
Yeah,
It's not an investment.
it cracks me
I feel
up.
like
You are just paying for
there's
a
no
very
return
expensive
on that.
party.
Yeah.
That's all that's happening.
The like photographers will be like an investment of our photo package and like our investment of this wedding venue, and I'm like, this is not an investment.
Yeah, no. The only investment is this band is an investment to be my wedding band. That's the only reason I'm here, by the way. I just wanted to save money on a wedding
We're
band.
already gonna have to be my sister's wedding band, dude. She already signed us up for that.
Oh,
Really?
Perfect.
yeah.
Dude, so I'm actually looking for a wedding band. This is a
Well,
discussion.
well,
Let's see what you
well.
guys think. I think everybody will just be on my side. That's what I think.
True.
But I really think that our wedding should have a wedding band because I think a wedding band is infinitely better than a DJ.
Totally.
Yeah, I agree.
But my fiance never pictured a band because honestly, most people in our generation haven't had a wedding band. They've had
Yeah, 'cause
DJs.
it's incredibly
Yeah.
expensive
It's-
and
yeah.
hard to find.
It's not
Sometimes
incredibly
cringy
expensive.
if they do the covers.
Well, not if you live in Nashville. When we tried to book a wedding band in San Diego, it was like $6,000.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you can do it for less here.
Yeah, here it's a different story. And if you're here in Nashville in Music City, you should have a wedding band.
Yeah, you have
That's
no
what I
excuses.
think.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Okay, that wasn't as interesting as I,
I
thought
mean,
because we're all just
just-
we agree.
Just give us a list of covers. We'll do it.
I mean, I will say,
what I'm saying.
the last wedding gig we did was shit. I'm just gonna put that out
But we've
there.
grown. We've improved
Yeah,
since
grown
then.
since then.
Because that was like
"Shut
that
the
was
fuck- I want to make the money.
that was
That's
like
our
our
worry.
I think that was like our second gig ever.
Ever, yeah. It's
So,
for Trevor's
yeah.
family.
Your second gig ever was at
A wedding?
Wedding?
Well,
I don't know what they were
It wasn't a
thinking.
wedding.
Don't know
I don't
what they
know
were
what.
thinking.
It was like one of those like
It was a
pre-wedding
reception.
events.
It was a
Okay.
reception.
Yeah, that.
Oh, the reception. Yeah, that's the wedding. That's the wedding.
That would be a lot of pressure to like play at an actual wedding for the.
No, I mean,
like,
no,
and
no,
that's
is that
your
not the
first
actual-
gig.
When people say wedding band, they mean the reception.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not the ceremony.
Gotcha,
Though
gotcha.
that also
My
there
bad,
gets
That'd be
my
to
bad.
be-
weird. Imagine walking down the aisle, you just hear.
That would go
Though that's
crazy.
wild as a second gig as
Yeah.
a band to do something like that. You said it was for family though, so it's a little less-
Yeah, it was for Trevor's family, so it wasn't too much pressure. It was just like, oh, let's get our little cousin's band to play for us. But
Yeah.
like, we got paid, so
Did we
Nice.
get paid for that?
I think we did.
Well, some of you guys got paid. It sounds
I
like.
guess. Yeah. No, I haven't seen a
No,
cent
we're
from
not.
this band.
Yeah, we're not at a stage in our careers where we see a cent. If we make $1, it goes straight into the band. It's like
Yeah.
a snake eating itself.
Yeah, basically.
Right, which everyone knows is very sustainable.
Totally. Yeah.
And especially snakes. How do you guys feel about the
Snakes?
designation of? Actually, your question.
hold on.
No, no, I
How
wanna
do
hear
you
yours. I
guys
wanna hear
feel
yours.
about snakes?
Hold on. I,
hate 'em,
actually
Jock, I hate 'em.
have to let you know if you do see a snake eating itself, the way you get it to stop, because they'll just do that. They'll die.
Yeah.
And if you want to save that snake, you take hand sanitizer and you
I
put
don't
hand
want it to kill me.
sanitizer on their head, and they will let go. And
Maybe they'll be
leave.
so thankful that you saved them, they won't bite you.
Why do you want? Why are you scared of snakes?
Those things kill you, dude. Most of them.
Have you ever known?
30% of them.
Have you ever known of anybody who's ever died from a snake?
Not personally.
They're
It
dead.
doesn't happen that much.
How would you know them?
Well, he would know them previously. Have you ever had known?
Even
No,
the
snakes
one-
are cool. Snakes are chill.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I
even the
like
ones
snakes.
that can't bite, like, just choke you to death.
Yeah, but generally, like if you see a snake in the wild, you can just walk right by. It's fine.
Yeah.
Snakes are super passive and gentle generally.
I mean, yeah, I guess if you don't bother them, they're not going to bother
Yeah.
you. But
Now, that being said, if you see like a rattlesnake, like, don't walk by it.
Right,
Like just
right,
in
right.
case. But you're probably fine. Unless it's rattling. In that case, get the fuck
Yeah,
out of there.
I was about to say, good thing you can hear those if they're like.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Okay,
just both
wait, so-
Indiana Jones fans, so it's still in our brains that like,
Snakes
oh,
Snake's
don't-
bad.
snakes.
Yeah. Anyway,
So
what was
it's-
your question? Yours was a lot more interesting, I feel like.
No, it wasn't. It
was like a designation of
I'm
something.
way more into this now. So the snake, you put hand sanitizer on its head.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
That's such a weird
first of all,
fact, by the way.
snakes-
Well, that
Yeah, like-
helps. I once tried to start an illegal snake breeding business.
Oh,
That'll do it.
gotcha.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
I had a wall of snakes in my apartment. Well, not just snake. They were in tanks. A wall of snake tanks.
Guys,
That
this
was
is something to
Who
look forward to as
who-
you get older. Is like people have more interesting stories. Like,
Yeah.
like all of your friends haven't done anything. Like, what's the coolest thing you did? Like, well, in geometry, fuck that.
My friend
No.
fell off a bike, and now he can't get on his bike anymore.
Yeah, but like as you get older, it's like college is when everyone does their cool things.
Right, totally.
So you start meeting people who had an illegal snake breeding business.
Who figured that out? I wonder how like someone figured that out with a snake eating itself.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Pure desperation.
They were
That's
just
what-
like,
that's what I-
this
that's what
snake
I'm
needs
thinking.
to be desanitized.
Yeah, someone
That
just had a
worked.
bottle of hand sanitizer and was like, "Let me just try this real quick."
Right.
So snakes will actually eat themselves. That's not just a
Yeah.
A metaphor.
oh
Oh, shoot. There's a video.
oh Wesley, please play that. For
And
us.
now you can prove I didn't just pull that out of my ass.
Wow.
I
I
can't-
see. I know that snakes eating themselves is a
Oh, with the
symbol,
sanitizer.
and he's going, and everybody.
It
He's
it
just
can't bite
listening.
you right now. Its mouth is full.
Oh,
my
let's
gosh.
go.
that must be painful.
He put
That's got to
hand
be painful.
sanitizer on it, and he just
And look, is that
immediately
snake
removed his
biting him?
tail,
That
and
snake's
he's
not
fine.
biting him.
No,
just-
he's thanking him.
I feel like that feels
Yeah.
like it, like when you like vomit. That's what that's got to feel.
Oh,
like.
yeah. But it's you.
Yeah, that's got to be a weird sensation.
If you did a favor for a snake, dude, that snake's got your back for life. They're like, do you ever hear like that? Like in China, like if somebody saves your life, now they're responsible for you.
Yeah,
Do
my,
you hear that?
my
Yeah.
wife told you about that.
Probably.
For when she lived in China for a year.
That being said, you save a snake's life, all snakes will like pass you by. They'll bite somebody else instead of you.
Are their brains developed enough to like
Yeah.
do favors?
100%. That was good.
But actually, you can maybe you can't befriend a wild snake, maybe, but you can befriend wild crows.
Oh,
If you give
that's
a crow
cool pet.
a gift, they will put food out for crows. They'll start bringing you things back. So first you put out some food,
Wow.
and then every day they'll start bringing you like coins, bottle caps. I heard one guy got a $20 bill.
wow.
Wow.
But this friend, because they are so smart that they will learn that, oh, if I bring this guy, then they'll give me
That's
food back.
crazy.
This is such a
Is
more
that why-
interesting.
is
concept.
that why they
just
have
found
them-
a whole thing? How to
Is that why
befriend
they
a
have them
crow?
send mess? Well, I guess that's raven or,
Doves,
or doves. They
Pigeons?
did doves.
pigeons,
To,
which are really the same thing.
I've just seen in some medieval movie, send a raven. Or, so
Yeah, send a raven.
I love this headline.
Way
The
to a
way
crow's
to a
heart.
crow's heart. The best way to introduce yourself to a crow is by feeding it. I'm sure there are other ways to go, but it's the easiest, fastest way to a crow's heart.
You know, yeah, most straightforward.
I mean,
But on
yeah.
the flip side, if you piss a crow off, they hold a grudge.
Oh.
And there's stories of people who like made some crow mad, and it like attacked them every day when they left their house. Like they had to
What?
move.
Whoa.
wow.
We sold our house because there was a crow that
Shouldn't
was
have pissed
really
off the crow. My
against
point
us.
is, be nice to crows if you see them, and maybe you'll get a little benefits. Because if you're not, they will come after you.
That's cool.
So my question originally
I don't know.
was
I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. We're so deep
Yeah.
on the.
to come back from crows. I don't even know how we got there, but how do you guys feel about the boy band distinction? Are you into it? Are you not into it?
I was going to point to you.
All right,
I'm-
all right. I mean, I'm kind of into it. I'm into it less of like a like being like in sync or like somebody like I'm not dancing. That but like I just like in the beginning I love the idea of like it's not just like the lead singer and maybe the guitar player, like the two guys in the band, and then the rest of the guys are like
Nameless
Just
face.
back up.
yeah. Like, I mean, Aerosmith's a great band. I love all the guys in that band, but like the two most popular guys are Joe Perry and Steven Tyler.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just feel like recently there's been more of a push with like BTS. There's like what?
Seven of them, yeah.
7 of them.
And
Like-
everyone, all the fans know all their names.
Yeah.
All their backstories.
And like, I don't know. I think it's really cool when you can have that sort of like rock band dynamic, but still have like each individual personality in that. Like
Yeah.
the guys brought up Led Zeppelin earlier. It's like, yeah, you got Jimmy Page and Robert Plant, but John Paul Jones and John Bonham are like equally respected as musicians, and like I would say almost equally well known because they were great musicians. And like sort of the same with the Who too, or like just I don't know. I could list off examples for days, but I just think that makes it more interesting to not only invest in like the music aspect, but also invest in like the people and like be like a Jack guy or a Garrett guy or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like,
You took the words right out of my. It's good that we're sitting together
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you took
yeah.
the words right out of my mouth.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's like when you get to like rock bands, at least more like recently that aren't like the Beatles or anything legendary. By default you're gonna know everyone's names.
Right.
But if you get to something more like less like time has made them into legends, like the Strokes. I love the Strokes, but name another member that's not Julian Casablancas.
Yeah.
You know?
Or like
I couldn't
Arctic
even name
Monkeys.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. See,
I know
like
the
with these modern
Strokes.
rock
I know
bands,
the Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah,
I don't know anyone in there.
Yeah.
yeah. Even Arctic Monkeys.
Alex Turner.
Alex
is
Turner,
the guy.
and the rest. Like everyone knows the frontmen, but I feel like with
But like
this recent kick with like One Direction, like you got the Liam girls and the
even
Niall
like
and
even like
Harry.
Greta Van Fleet. Like you
Yeah.
know all the guys in Greta Van Fleet. There's not like one guy who's like the star of the show. It's like it's a group of 4. Like this is gonna sound geeky as hell, but like I see it as like at least the 4 of us as almost like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I mean,
like,
hey,
yeah, you got
I get it.
You got
We're
But who's
100%
who?
in. 100% in.
I've thought about this
Okay.
a lot.
Okay.
A
Thank
lot. So we got
Random button push.
I am a banana.
Okay, so
It fits,
I'm a
it fits.
banana. Who are you?
all right. I've thought about this for years. And
Okay, I want you to know my guess for you is Raphael.
Really?
yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Really?
Shut up!
Yes.
Yeah.
Shut the hell
Yes.
up!
Really?
Yes.
Donatello.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
you got it. You got it.
100%.
No!
It's
Interesting.
when you look at the Ninja Turtles, it is just us.
Yes.
it is just
Okay.
us.
Michelangelo. Who do you think's Michelangelo?
Trevor.
Yes.
100% Trevor.
see?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Connor's Leonardo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
it
fits.
just
You're
makes
right.
sense.
Perfectly.
It makes sense.
I know you guys.
You do.
Yeah,
We
You
have
do.
to do a record together.
I've been saying for years. Our band dynamic is just the Ninja Turtles.
It really is.
It's just the Ninja Turtles. But like my point with that is like, yeah, you have kids who love the Ninja Turtles and they're like, my favorite one's Raphael, my favorite one's Leonardo, or like Donatello.
Bruh.
Like,
Oh,
you can-
hold on. No
Bruh.
one has ever said my favorite one's Raphael, all right? Be real, you got the worst
Yeah,
turtle, my guy.
Well, you think Raphael is
He's the worst turtle.
I mean, like,
turtle.
I mean,
Dude,
like,
number one turtle,
But hold
Donatello.
on. Raphael.
I respect that opinion because I grew up. I was growing up originally. I was a Leonardo and Donatello guy. Like those were my 2 guys, and I would get crap because I would be the one kid who wanted like the bow staff. The
bow staff's the coolest weapon.
Yeah.
and he's like probably one of the most useful turtles like in the group.
He actually thinks about it.
yes,
It's great.
Use your brain.
He makes all of this stuff. They have a
Right.
car because of Donatello.
And Michelangelo is kind of like the wild stoner party guy.
Yeah.
And then Leonardo's more
Trevor.
like the responsible leader. And then Raphael is also there.
As the Raphael of the band, I feel very disrespected. No, Raphael. Listen, Raph is just the grumpy one, and I think Jack can agree.
Nice. This is the worst weapon.
Well, like here's the. Have you seen the? Actually,
I loved the size when I was a
This
kid.
is-
I'm gonna defend
this
you. I
is the
love
best
the
part
size.
of this
Yeah,
podcast.
It
listen.
looks cool.
I'm about to go on a tangent about Ninja Turtles, but
let's
like, have
go.
you seen
Go.
the theory about like the Ninja Turtles?
That's an article.
Wesley just found an article that says it needs to be said Raphael is just
Dang.
the worst turtle.
he just has anger issues. He just has anger issues, and I personally relate to that.
I am a banana.
But no, have you seen the theory about their weapons? Like
No.
the
No.
Ninja Turtle weapons? So I think this was on either like Twitter or Reddit, but someone was like each Ninja Turtle has a specific weapon for like a specific reason. Like for example, Donatello, he's the tech brain. He's like the thinker. He's always coming up with inventions. Okay, we're gonna give you the most simple weapon of all of them, and use that resource. You know what I mean? And Raphael, the most offensive, angry, easy to attack. Sais are very defensive weapons. Like the way you use it, it's like katana, sai,
catch
offense, defense. Yeah, you catch the sword. So like to give the most offensive guy in the group that, it sort of like cancels him out and like disciplines him in a way. And Michelangelo with The
Nunchucks.
Yeah, nunchucks.
Nunchucks are cool.
That you cannot be not paying attention using nunchucks. You will hit yourself in the face. And ADHD Michelangelo, he's got to really focus to use that weapon. So like,
Okay,
I don't know if that was on purpose, but it makes sense.
That does make sense. I like
Wow.
that theory. I subscribe to that theory
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I will repeat it.
on that
I will
theory.
repeat it many times.
Yeah, we're now a Ninja Turtles podcast where we
Yeah,
just
well.
talk about Ninja Turtles.
I see a new movie is coming out.
It just came out.
Oh, it just came out.
Yeah.
It's coming out soon to the drive-in.
The drive-in.
Oh, yeah.
in Watertown.
Yeah.
Have you guys been there?
Yeah, I was just
Is
there
it-
recently.
What's
you-
it called?
Did you see Gran Turismo?
Fuck no.
I know this track.
I've raced it 1,000. No.
We,
Okay, we're
I
talking.
know
You're talking
you
to
say
two.
truck.
We both work at a movie theater.
Yeah, we work at a
so-
movie theater
Shut
together.
up. What movie theater?
AMC Thoroughbred 20 in Franklin.
I was gonna guess the
Yeah.
20. Yeah, nice.
He's
A manager.
you're a manager
Yeah.
now. I've
Fancy bitch.
I know,
I've
yeah.
I've sadly had to quit a few times because of like high school.
Hey,
I
fourth
was-
time's the charm.
Yeah, this is my 4th time back.
Hey, I've probably bought popcorn from you and thought you were a shit employee. So
I mean, you know.
Yeah,
every time I go to the movies, this is very adult. I've crossed a threshold. Like every time I go to the movies, I'm like, everybody's so bad at their job, and I have
No, you're
to,
right.
I agree
As a
with that.
manager, you're right.
I have to remind myself, I'm like, they're young.
Yeah.
It's the only job they could have.
yeah,
Yeah.
They're not being paid very much.
which makes it especially sad that I have the same position as them and I'm 20. Last time I was there, I was a crew leader, which is like sort of the middleman for.
You're
not-
giving yourself too much
there's
credit.
there's a few more. There's a few more steps. I am giving myself a little bit of credit, but it's a step higher than like the 15-year-olds.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's
I'll
just,
stop embarrassing myself.
it's-
Anyway,
it's-
For job security, I'm gonna stop talking.
yeah, that's true.
Nice. Well, okay. I didn't mind Gran Turismo. Now I went and saw it at Watertown at the drive-in.
At the drive-in, yeah.
And so when you go to the drive-ins,
Your
you're
standards
just,
are lower.
yeah, you're going for the drive-in experience.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing whatever there happens to be available at the drive-ins, and you have two choices between two double headers.
Yeah.
And so it seemed. This was Saturday. It seemed to me that Gran Turismo with No Hard Feelings was a better lineup
Yeah.
than. What's the new dog one with Will Ferrell and Jamie Foxx?
Oh,
Strays.
Strays. Yeah.
With
Is
Strays
it about dogs?
and
Yeah.
Cuss.
something.
That's their whole thing.
I don't know what it's called, but it has a boat.
Oh,
Last
Last Voyage
Voyage,
of the
yeah.
Demeter. I just
Yes.
saw that.
Was it the
It was-
worst movie?
No, it was. I actually
had-
really liked it.
But are your standards high?
I mean,
I will say
sometimes
half
yeah.
of our job, because we see these trailers so much, we see these posters so much, our one enjoyment is just shitting on all of them.
Yeah.
Even if we haven't seen them. Like with Gran Turismo, I haven't seen it. It's probably a great movie. But it's just so much advertising all the time. Every
Yeah.
day you go into work, you just
Yeah.
see advertising. You want to hate it, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I expected Gran Turismo to be nothing.
Yeah.
it looks like just Karate
Yeah,
Kid, but
the-
cars.
The Last Voyage of the Demeter. It
Demeter,
says it has something to do with Dracula.
Yeah,
I was going with my fiance, and I just thought, I'm like, first of all, Strays isn't going to be her style of humor; it's going to be mine. But
Yeah.
that's the movie I wanted to see the most.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second movie has something to do with vampires. It's probably not going to be either of our movies, but maybe I'll enjoy it and she'll not like it. And then the other two, Gran Turismo, I'm like, probably just a hero's journey racing movie, which it
Yeah.
was, and it did a good job of being what it was.
is it
but all-
Is it basically Karate Kid, but it's like a car?
Yeah, but all sports movies, all sports
That's what it
movies
looked
are
like.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
follow sports in any way, shape, or form. I
Oh,
don't
no,
care
me
about
either.
sports, but I
Except
will
the
watch
form of movies.
any sports movie. They're
Yeah.
always great.
I thought Gran Turismo surprised me because I didn't care at all. The fact that it's after a video game made me think it'd be stupid.
Yeah.
Oh,
But-
was it based off of Gran
The-
Turismo?
yeah, the
Yeah,
video
it's based
game,
off of the
yeah.
PS.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
that's
Because the
probably
plot,
trash.
you can explain the
Yeah,
plot.
the plot is that the Nissan, which it's British people talking a lot.
Nissan.
Nissan.
Yeah, I hear it every day. Yeah.
Nissan. So Orlando Bloom is a marketing agent who works for Nissan, and he decided for Nissan that they should. There's all these kids that are really good at Gran Turismo. So what they should do is
game?
Yes, the video game.
It exists in the movie.
Listen
So
to
it's just
this.
real life.
Follow
It's based
this.
on a true story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The title of the movie
fuck
is.
you just ruined it.
Oh,
No, you're okay. no. So he goes, we should, for marketing, we should create a university for all these kids that are great at Gran Turismo, and we'll teach them how to drive real race cars and then turn them into real race car drivers. And so a kid who's really good at Gran Turismo qualifies, and they turn him into a real race car driver, and then he becomes a real race car driver, and then he ends up...
Whoa! Ends up.
No spoilers. Okay, no spoilers.
I know this track.
He becomes a real... yeah. He becomes a real race
Smoke
car
them in
driver.
a lap.
And here's the crazy thing. So at the very... So we watched this whole movie, right? We're having a great time. It's awesome. I'm like, this is a good movie, actually. At the end, Ashley goes, yeah, but it's super unrealistic because they would never do that, ever.
Don't they show the
And then
picture
I
of it
look at-
actually happening?
Yes,
at
and
the end?
then I look at, and then she says that at the very end, and that's like she went the whole movie without outing herself. She went along with the conceit the whole time.
Oh, my God.
And both of us probably felt like maybe this wouldn't happen, but let's go with it because it's a movie. I'm like, babe, it's a movie. You know, they do things. You just have to go with it. I look it up. It's a true story.
I will say, I don't know how you.
Nissan did this.
I don't know how you missed that. The title, the full title of the movie is Gran Turismo based on a true story. That is actually in the title of the movie. Yeah.
It's because we so didn't care.
Yeah. I mean, drive-ins, they don't have posters.
Yeah, yeah.
You're driving and paying $10.
That's like when I went to go see Oppenheimer with my girlfriend.
You
Shout
didn't
out.
know that was based on a true story.
No, she did. She didn't. But a shout out to Ainsley, by the way. She obviously knew that it was a true story. She's a big history buff. So am I. But we were walking out, and we just hear this girl like with her boyfriend go, "So was that like real? Like was that based on a true story?" And it's like,
Button push.
yeah. Like, yes, babe, Pearl Harbor, not Pearl Harbor, Pearl Harbor and Hiroshima, Nagasaki, all that stuff happened. And it's like, oh my God.
Failure of the education system.
No, literally. I was just, oh my God. It's crazy.
That's bad.
I mean,
Yeah.
what
That's
Tennessee's
incredible.
ranked, 49 out of 50 when
it?
it comes
Is
to
it
education?
really? Oh my
it's
God.
low. I mean, he can fact check me, but I think it's pretty low.
Where's Tennessee in education?
Oh, that's so sad. What states are the good ones? Because you hear California, we heard that our education's bad.
No one's good.
Here, like,
It's really- I don't-
who's number one?
Everyone's
Rochester,
49.
New York. Something random.
I feel like one.
Wisconsin.
It's like it's
Yeah.
not a high bar. So even if you're like average, where's I can't read that.
Education.
That's
That
not the
number
right.
doesn't make sense
That's
to me.
That's crime and corrections.
Oh, there's
But there-
education.
there's-
Education
I
number
see. There was
33.
33. I mean,
That's
33?
That's
Oh.
really low.
Who's at the top?
Yeah. Who's number? What state is number one in education?
it's gonna be like
I'm
Oregon?
going with
I'm going Oregon.
Maine.
Maine. Ooh, oh, I should have picked
Rhode
Maine.
Island.
Maine. Why Maine?
That just feels right.
Everything's good in Maine.
Yeah.
I would say my first guess that came to my heart is Connecticut.
Oh, it's Connecticut.
It is Connecticut.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh, you know what? That's where Harvard or Yale is.
Oh, that's
okay.
that's definitely
not.
skewing numbers.
Yale is
no.
in Connecticut.
Yale is in.
Hartford, Connecticut. Or
You seem too confident. I think you're right.
Sorry,
It's either
okay.
I'm
Hartford or
believing you.
New Haven, Connecticut.
Maybe that's true.
Harvard is in Cambridge.
I'm thinking of Massachusetts. I'm thinking of Princeton, which is in New Jersey.
Yeah.
I dated a girl for a while who went to Princeton Seminary, which is unrelated to Princeton.
Yeah. So she would tell you, I
I
go
went
to
to
Princeton.
Princeton
Liar.
Seminary, which is not the same, different school. Anyway, so Connecticut came to my heart because what I know about Connecticut is.
Go ahead.
Yeah, feel free, Wesley.
We're putting Wesley to work.
I know we're really. He did not have to do this much fact
Yeah.
checking for
Fact check this. Fact check that.
So,
But we're having the more interesting
what I
conversation.
know about
Yeah, we
Connecticut
are.
is there's a lot of wealth in Connecticut. I recently had some people come to the studio that were from Connecticut, and they said they weren't part of that. So there's normal people there too.
We're part of
But-
Connecticut or part of the wealthy.
Part of the wealthy.
Okay,
Part of the
gotcha.
wealthy. They were part of Connecticut.
don't
They weren't
associate
wealthy.
with
That's where
Connecticut.
Gilmore
But-
Girls takes place.
Oh.
Full circle.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
I went on a tour one time that we went to New York City, and while we were there, some of the guys from the tour were going to Connecticut to go write with this. You probably won't have ever heard of this person, Kathy Lee Gifford.
It's
No.
vague. Like
Yeah.
something, a little spark happened in the back of the brain.
Yeah.
That I'm,
Wait.
no.
Kathy,
Kathy Lee Gifford.
is that a comedian?
No, I think you're thinking of Kathy Griffin. I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
Good job.
yeah.
I saw her one time.
Oh.
Kathy Lee Gifford was a morning show host when we were kids. Now, back in the 90s, you guys, back in the 90s, there wasn't the internet. So
What?
it was.
How did you
In
survive?
the 90s, we didn't.
We didn't. We just all died. And it was like every other kid would die. And and so
Wesley, pull up the death rate.
it was like 90%. And so like back then mass media was the thing. It was like whoever had a morning show, they were some of the most famous people in the
right.
world.
Right. Now, if
Night
someone has a
show.
morning show, it's kind of embarrassing.
Back then there was 3 podcasts. They were Jay Leno, David Letterman.
In the,
I
well,
can't
in
even
the
think of a
90s, there
third.
were 0 podcasts.
Correct. I'm just saying like
Like what
now,
the
like,
equivalent of a podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I'm
I
saying.
mean,
Yeah,
70s had
I used to watch the
Johnny
Mikey
Carson.
show. That was like
Yeah.
big in San Diego. The Mikey show.
Yeah.
It was a radio
Just-
show that was massive.
If you were in mass media, you were like so famous. Kathy Lee Gifford was in the morning show with Regis Philbin, who became the
Yeah,
host.
Regis-
of,
Yeah, I know Regis.
yeah,
Philbin,
yeah,
Yeah.
of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
yeah.
So anyway, Kathy Lee and Regis Philbin in the morning. So when I went to New York, some friends went to go write a song with Kathy Lee, and that's when I learned that a lot of the rich people from New York City live in Connecticut, and they take the train
yeah,
to
just
work.
an hour and a half
Yeah.
train. I considered moving there.
And I figured that kind of that wealth of like, we don't want to live in the city, but we will take its money, please.
Yeah.
Would
That's
have the best schools.
I feel like the equivalent to that is like Brentwood.
yeah, Connecticut is the Brentwood of New York.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Such a niche way to look at it.
But it
accurate.
makes sense to me.
Yeah.
It makes
Yeah.
sense to me.
yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But that being said,
Yeah, I was going to say, you guys definitely got the second half of the show, which is my favorite half of the show.
Yeah.
It's the half when
Yeah.
we just talk about whatever the
dating.
fuck comes up.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, which is the best.
unfortunately, your guys' time was a little bit shorter than theirs, but it was way better.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would agree.
Yeah, I wish Connor and Trevor were here
So we
for
could
the
tell
back
them.
half where it gets really fun. But you guys got the fun part.
Yeah, we always
Yeah,
get like
we
the
do.
information in the first hour.
Yeah, that's what I'm glad. We didn't have to explain much.
Yeah.
Because they got that all the way. We could just
Yeah.
talk.
We get to hang out.
We just
Yeah.
get to chill, talk about crows and snakes
Turtles.
and
Gross.
Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, they had to be like,
The
my
history
musical
of,
influences.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
But there is one question, as you've heard, that we ask every guest.
Oh, yeah. We ran out of the room for it.
That's
Yeah.
right.
They-
Because we couldn't know the question.
You can't know it in advance.
Now, here's the thing.
Explain it.
If you had to choose.
Sorry, I have to burp. Again.
You're good?
And you do.
And you do. Now, the important thing to note about this question,
Yeah, let's not just ask it right off the bat.
well, you got to be properly prepared,
Yeah.
is the answer must not come from here.
And for the audio-only listeners, Jury is pointing to his head, representing the mind,
Must
representing
come
thinking.
from here.
Would one of you like to take that?
For our listeners, he is pointing to his chest that
Oh.
holds his heart, which fuels his body.
If you had to choose,
I see why we were out of the room so long. This is taking forever.
Yeah. Sorry. My bad. And you do.
and you do. Now, what that actually means, coming from your heart and not your head, is I don't want you to think about it.
Oh.
I want your answer quickly.
Whatever comes to your heart.
Right. I want the answer that's deep in your soul that you might not even know is there.
I want you to know, I already know in my head and my heart what the perfect answer for you guys would be.
Yes. I 100%. I'm with
we
you.
know your
I'm with
answer.
you on this.
I doubt you will be this good.
We'll see. We'll see.
Because you're already
Have
thinking.
some
I can
faith.
see you're already
Yeah,
trying to
right,
think.
right, yeah.
what-
We're trying
yeah,
to figure
stop.
out.
I'm going to block you out.
Now, because there's two of you, you guys need to answer at the same time. Simultaneous.
Simultaneous. Here's what, and there's kind of a low bar. Let's be real.
Yeah, they did bad.
They were the worst ever.
literally the worst answers we've ever had on the show.
Here's what Connor did.
Wait.
Pause. Long time, wrong answer. And here's what
about
Trevor
right.
did. So Connor had answered
You want to
incorrectly.
just explain after?
No,
so
I
that
will again. So then Trevor pause.
And then just agree with whatever Connor said.
No,
that's
usually how it is.
sense.
I'm just saying that's usually how it is.
Also, wrong answer.
Which is, this is a hard question to get wrong.
It's a really
Really?
hard question to
Okay.
get wrong. Yeah,
If you had to choose,
and you do.
and you do,
And we do.
what would you say is your favorite kind of turtle?
Snapping turtle.
Ninja Turtle.
Woo! Okay.
I feel like we got one right answer.
Ninja, I was waiting for Ninja. I was thinking we just talked about Ninja Turtles so much.
I'm
We've
gonna
only ever
tell
gotten Ninja one other time on the show.
He took the only type of turtle I know.
snapping. To be fair, snapping is the most common answer.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what I wanted in my heart.
Way better than Trevor's.
Tell me if this is. Yeah, you guys were both better. But tell me if this is right. Here's what I wanted to happen. I wanted you to. What if I got a turtle? Immediately.
But
Raphael, Donatello,
dang it.
in sync at the same moment.
That would have been a beautiful moment, and it'll never happen in the
if
history.
you had come in sync, we would have gone bye.
dang.
It's a double
We
win.
should have rehearsed
Ended.
this, guys.
know.
Yeah, next time.
Yeah.
Trevor sat there and went, just staring at me in the eyes for like a while.
It's not a hard
and
question.
then goes, chomping?
I can picture that too, just Trevor. Chomping.
No, it's because I could totally see both of them just thinking
panic.
too hard about
Yeah,
like what.
definitely.
Well, Connor answered like fair, not as quick as you guys, but like
Yeah.
he did okay. But his answer was tortoise, which is not a turtle.
Tortoise turtle. Jesus.
Yeah.
Christ.
Oh my
Tortoises are a different species.
Yeah.
But related.
It's like crocodiles and alligators.
and then
Exactly.
Trevor said chomping, which isn't a turtle.
That's a nothing.
but
That's
sounds like a kind of turtle.
yeah.
the chomping turtle.
So snapping is a real turtle. Ninja Turtles is a great answer, but the correct answer was Donatello and
That would've been
Raphael.
perfect.
Is that what you were looking for too?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, one of them's got to get it.
When you guys
But
got
I'll
onto the
take a
Ninja
ninja.
Turtles,
We got
I was
half.
like,
we got
oh.
half.
Yeah, as soon as you brought up Ninja Turtles, we were both.
Oh, it's
Ooh, here we go.
you put too much faith in it.
For the
I'm
record,
just gonna put that on.
We don't have any particular love or care about turtles. It's just a random, it's a random question.
Random question.
But
Were you guys there for the YouTube generation of the kid who was like, "I like turtles"?
yeah, we had a guy say that as his answer once.
Oh, nice.
Who was that? Do you remember?
Luke from Dawson Hollow.
Okay. Yeah, we had a guy say that was great.
Nice.
Was I from the YouTube generation?
No, I mean like there's a very like. Not like you didn't
Bitch,
you
our
didn't know
generation
YouTube.
invented
I just mean
YouTube.
like
I
there
remember
was like
when
a
YouTube
very
came out in 2005,
5.
8.
6.
8.
It was
No.
5. It was 5.
It was either 5 or 6. So he's pretty confident. So I'm
Yeah,
going.
I was way too invested
What
in
are you Googling
YouTube
for?
when
We
I
have
was
a
a kid. I know
Wesley.
it was 5.
Did you just say?
Why are you Googling?
Did you just say we have a
We
Wesley,
have a
app?
Wesley. No, just a Wesley.
Yeah, 2005.
Ah,
yeah.
nailed
You
it,
guys were
nailed it.
right.
Yeah, Day at the Zoo was the first
Yeah.
YouTube video.
Yeah.
I just meant like people who were primarily there for like the golden age of YouTube, which was like
Yeah.
the I like turtles and like the
Yeah, that was like the golden age in my mind started like 2008 or 9
Yeah,
until like
yeah, yeah.
2014.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So when I just said 2008, that was the golden age.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. We'll give you half a point.
Smosh was in full effect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got it wrong.
Before it got sold like 7 times.
Yeah.
God.
They're back now.
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They bought
are.
it back.
It's
Are
just
we gonna get
Anthony
some-
and
Good Myth. I think what happened was the company.
Good until morning bottom, right?
Yeah, because the company that originally owned Smosh went out of business, so I think they just ended up selling it to Good Mythical Morning, like whatever company that is, and then Good Mythical Morning sold it.
Yeah.
to the
Good Mythical
guys.
Morning is standalone to their own company.
Yeah,
Huge fan. I love me some Good Mythical Morning. But
Wait, before you do that.
that's Rhett and Link.
Yeah.
the zebra dance. That's how I know him from. I forgot what that was.
or the OCD song. I lost the room with that one.
Yeah. No one knows what you're talking about, kids. No, I have an important. I have a question. Before we wrap up, you guys work at a movie theater.
Yes, we do.
One that I have been to many times.
Mhm.
Frightens me.
I have,
like,
a
oh,
gift, I have an AMC gift card right now. I could come again soon.
Really?
And I'd be
Wow.
like, ha ha ha.
Yeah, come point and laugh at us while doing our job.
We get that every day. I mean, like,
Life didn't turn out so good, did it? You thought you'd be important.
Yeah.
I thought I'd be in college.
You serve popcorn to
College is a
Christian
scam.
music stars.
You made the right choice.
No, but okay. What is your favorite movie that you've seen recently?
Recently.
Like how recent are we
Last
talking?
few
like,
years.
Yeah, whatever comes to your heart
Yeah.
first.
like last few years?
Sure.
Okay.
Now
4 months.
we're the ones overthinking.
Yeah.
This is gonna be our chomping
we're
in
gonna
towards.
we're gonna be here for another. We're gonna be here for
If you
another
had
hour.
to choose instantly,
I'll say. I mean, I'm gonna say recently, as of like the past 2 or 3 years, Everything Everywhere All at Once blew my mind.
Oh, true.
That one
Yeah,
blew my
that
mind.
was really
I really liked the Batman, the Robert Pattinson Batman.
Really? I didn't really care for it.
That's okay.
I mean, it's
It's
fine.
all
we
Well,
have different
thank you for not
opinions.
making this podcast another 2
Yeah.
hours.
What? How could?
that's very Gen Z of you to be okay with that. And
We just
Yeah.
like pointing out the differences in ages.
what? Why
and
do
be real.
you like it?
I really like the interpretation because like I'm a huge comic book nerd, and I could tell that it was really based off of like these 2 books, Batman Year One and Long
Halloween.
Long
Yeah.
Halloween Part 1 and 2, and like those are like my favorite Batman books of all time. Like Year One is like the origin and like him setting up, and I just really liked seeing like not just a young Batman, but like a Batman like figuring out like being Batman. Like the perfect example, in my opinion, in the movie is like when he goes to the Iceberg Penguin's hideout as the Batman. Like he goes through the front door.
Right.
Batman never goes
No,
through
he'd,
the
like,
front
break
door.
through the roof. Yeah.
He just appears in the room because he finds a way to like to see that. And then the second time he comes in, he's like, okay, I'm gonna stealth it because that's the best way to get done what I need to get done is like stealthing my way through this. It's like it's good. I just very much enjoyed, and that's why I enjoyed Batman Year One, is just seeing like instead of just seeing this badass Batman who can like do all this stuff, it's seeing like how he became like the unstoppable force we know as Batman, and that's just something I really appreciated.
It's a really good reason. I
And
really
I
appreciate that.
I liked emo Bruce Wayne. I thought it was
What
kind
killed it for me was I did not like their rendition of the Riddler.
Riddler. That's the biggest like
Yeah.
controversy.
I love the
take
Riddler.
I've seen with
He's been one of
Riddler.
my favorites since I was a little kid,
Mm-hmm.
and I just hated the way that they did him. And I love that actor. I forget his name.
Paul
Dano.
Love him.
I love him. He's
Yeah.
phenomenal. But yeah, it was.
it was a.
I'd rather have the Jim Carrey Riddler. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. And
If
it's,
knowledge
again,
is power, then
that's-
I am God.
All right. I mean, it's not great, but it's better.
I mean, yeah,
that's why my whole thing is like it's okay if you don't like it. It's an interpretation of a story. Like
Yeah.
it's not. I just enjoyed that interpretation. I don't think it's like this is the definitive version of Batman. I just was like, I appreciated it.
In the way. Halloween.
But you know what the
Gotham
best?
City.
You know what? It was a lot better then.
What?
Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, that movie was
Absolutely.
Ben
trash.
Affleck as Batman was the worst thing ever.
I didn't mind him. I,
thought
didn't mind him as
he
Batman.
did okay.
I hated
I thought the
it.
movie was awful.
Yeah, that's my
movie was bad.
opinion. If you put Batfleck in like that's what I call it. If you put that in like the proper context and actually like built up a DC universe,
Take
like,
his machine guns away.
yeah, and like that's the other thing too is like his Batman is based off like
You want to see these apples?
like old man Batman who's like I'm tired of this shit, and like I just feel like that sort of like trying to interpret that just didn't come off well.
Yeah.
And so like seeing Batman with a gun, it's like, oh, what? And it's the first time we're seeing Batman because like Zack Snyder. I'm about to get on a nerd tangent.
Yeah,
I know
fine.
we're trying to
I love
wrap
it.
up, but I promise I'm almost done.
Let's go.
The thing Zack Snyder was trying to do is bring in like, oh yeah, this is like an old Batman. Like Robin's dead. He's like half done with being Batman, but like. This is the first time we're seeing this Batman. You're wanting to
Right.
start like right as he's
I feel
like,
like
sick of it.
Zack
Like-
Snyder is like what's his name? Ryan, not me, the one that did the second Star Wars.
Johnson.
Thank you, Wesley.
Ryan Johnson.
Wanted to
That's
bring
a
something
whole,
different
if you want
to
me
it.
to talk about that, that's a whole other podcast.
Oh man, you know how much time we got?
Look, I would love to go into the Star Wars talk. It's one of my favorite things to complain about, especially with people who are slightly different generation, because my assumption would be the first ones you ever saw were the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
You right?
Well,
Episode 1.
Episode 1.
no,
2, 3.
I grew up because my dad was
You
like,
had
he's
good
like
parents.
Yeah, I had
Okay.
good parents
You were
who
raised
like,
right.
yeah, I to this day I love episode 3. It's
Three?
one of my favorite movies.
Episode 3?
Revenge of the Sith.
Episode 3.
Here's the first generation divide here.
Yeah,
You just made this podcast go for another hour.
The
and you don't
worst,
even know
the
it.
worst Star Wars movie to ever be made. No, sorry, second worst after the Clone Wars.
Revenge of, as in like,
Yeah, episode 3 was trash. It had 15 good minutes at the end.
Jack, help me out here, dude.
Garrett,
I
fight
want to see this
Fight
unfold.
him.
I'm
Fight
neutral.
him, Garrett.
This is a
Your generation is too nice. Fight him. He's purposely being incendiary. Go
we're
for
gonna
it.
we're gonna have to go for another hour. I'm sorry, guys. We're gonna have to go for another hour. Why don't you like episode 3, Revenge of the
A
Sith?
few reasons. One, it's long and boring the whole time
That is not true.
until it gets to the end when it tries to wrap way too much up way too fast, and it does not. But the biggest thing is the whole original, not the original, the new trilogy 1, 2, 3, do not feel like Star Wars.
I don't even register those as like canon Star Wars to my brain. I really don't like the original trilogy. It's because I
The
like,
original trilogy?
No, I'm sorry. I meant the
Wait,
sequel trilogy.
what
I meant
are
the
you
sequel
talking
trilogy.
about?
I'm sorry. I
Okay, yeah.
misspoke.
Sorry,
That's my bad.
prequel,
My
sequel,
bad.
and original.
I'm an original trilogy guy.
100%,
Like that's
same.
that's my thing. I don't register the sequel trilogy is because I was on like the last generation of Star Wars fans that like the Star Wars Legend books like that go
Yeah.
past Return of the Jedi. That's my sequel trilogy. So
Okay.
like, but yeah. Revenge of the Sith, I feel like is probably one of, if not the most action-packed of like the prequel trilogy.
But it was action packed that was just like unnecessary, just
what did you
action
li-
for action's
What
sake.
did you like about it, Garrett?
Well, first of all, as like a young Star Wars fan, I could agree with you. Like, yeah, I found Revenge of the Sith kind of boring, but now as an adult, like have more to appreciate about it. But keep in mind, I'm like super nerd. So like the political stuff in Star Wars, that's my jam. Like all of the other like boring details, that's my jam. So I guess like
And
I have
it
an
was very
extended
political.
appreciation of like in the prequel trilogy, you see like how like a government can be easily corrupted and how you can see like the Jedi becoming such like an integral part of the government that they sort of like lose their ways. So like I feel like I don't know, seeing that all of that buildup of like the Jedi like not realizing like they're too high and like they're about to crumble, seeing that happen in episode 3 and sort of like understanding like, yeah, it's the Jedi. It's like the Grand Temple is in Coruscant. They're a part of the government. They're helping the galaxy, which like, and here's the, did you watch Clone Wars?
No.
There it is.
I tried.
There it is.
I've tried.
That's okay.
I've tried so
Yeah.
many times.
Wait,
Yeah,
is
I don't
Clone
watch
Wars-
cartoons.
the Clone Wars.
That's another thing
cartoon.
too. That's probably why I like it so much because like what Clone Wars does and why I love it, it gives you an extended appreciation of the prequels.
More context.
Yeah, and
sure.
so that's probably why I'm getting a little biased of like, oh, it's my favorite Star Wars movie because I've seen more of the extended like build up of like corruption of the Jedi, Palpatine's rise to power, and like
Yeah,
how
I didn't
he
see
uses his emergency powers to stay in office, and like
Oh my god.
the unrest caused by the Jedi because they're like, oh, we don't know about this guy, leading to which I think is the most necessary battle in all of Star Wars when Mace Windu and the 5 Jedi go into his office and we're like, hey, we know you're a Sith Lord, you're under arrest. And like that, I just feel like the past 2 movies before that were just building up to that, just like the clash of like Jedi being in government, which like in all of Star Wars lore, it's like that's not supposed to happen. The Jedi are like the people's champion.
separate, right.
Yeah, they're separate. They're the people's champion. They're for the people. They're not for the government.
Yeah, they're not supposed to have that kind of power.
Right. And I just think seeing that from a dramatic standpoint was very I found that very interesting. And to me, episode 3 feels like almost a Shakespearean play rather than like a Star Wars movie.
But isn't that a problem? If I'm watching Star Wars, I want a Star Wars movie.
And I totally understand that. But I don't know. I just had, and that's why I didn't like it initially when I was a kid, or like didn't like see it as, oh, it's my favorite Star Wars movie because it doesn't feel like a Star Wars movie. But now that I understand Shakespearean literature and like the idea of the tragic hero, it's like, holy crap, Anakin is like the prime example. What, I didn't read that.
He just
What
said
do you-
Star Wars is a space opera.
Yeah, it's a space opera, and like that's why I have appreciation for like George Lucas in this thing, because like Star Wars is a culmination of like all of these different aspects of storytelling, like westerns, Shakespeare, samurai, like
Yeah,
all
it's got
that stuff.
all the things.
And that's why I like episode 3, because it's a Shakespearean play, and your Star Wars is like the Wild West, samurai, like all those aspects, and less of like the
Well, it's about
political
the-
drama.
It's more about. I prefer it to be more about the hero's journey.
Yep.
Over
Which
the
is-
politics.
which is literally the entirety of the original trilogy.
100%. That's
Yeah.
exactly
5,
what it
6,
is.
Hero's Journey.
No, but I do love episode 1, not because it doesn't feel like a Star Wars movie, but it was the first one I ever got to see in theaters.
Right.
And I
Yeah,
saw it
that's
like
gotta-
9 times in
Yeah,
theaters.
I
That's
mean,
gonna
like,
impact it, yeah.
yeah, and I feel like me and Jack both agree. We have like a soft spot in our heart for Force Awakens, because like that was our
Yeah, just for seeing that in
Force
theaters.
Awakens is
For
great.
seeing a
I
Star
love-
Wars movie
Force
in the
Awakens is
theater.
great. I have no issues with
I,
Force
I
Awakens.
like Force Awakens. I just don't like that.
Sure.
trilogy
That
as a
whole. Yeah, I think Force Awakens was the best of those for sure. Yeah,
totally.
that one and then the last one. And then
But yeah, back
Rise
to the thing about Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally understand why you don't like it, but like the reason I like it is because like the Shakespearean aspect of
Sure.
like Anakin being the tragic hero that you see in a lot of like Hamlet or like Hamlet. That's the only one I can think of at the moment. Yeah, like that's sort of like the hero being his own demise. I feel like that is very interesting storytelling. That is very interesting storytelling, and like I don't know, I just like for like each Star Wars story to be different. And I'm although I didn't really like episode 1 and 2, I've grown to like episode 2 a little bit
I
more
think 2's
over
the
the
worst one.
2, I agree.
I
Two's
would-
the second worst. I
It
think
really
Rise of
gets to it when you
Skywalker
get to the
now.
lightsaber fight. And
Yeah,
the whole fight is
yeah.
just their faces with lights going. And I'm just like, come on,
Yeah.
what is this? You have all
But-
the budget. But he's going pee.
Oh, okay. I was about.
When he
Is he
gets back,
trying to
we'll
tell
wrap.
us we need to wrap it up right?
When he gets back, we wrap. I always tell
Yeah.
every week. I tell my wife, I'm like, look, I'll definitely be home by like 8:30. It's never happened. Not even one
What time
time.
is it now?
9.
9.
So yeah, when he gets back, we'll probably wrap. But
Okay.
but I will say, so yeah. But with episode 1, it's the pod. I love the pod racing. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, the pod race. That's a great
That
scene.
was great.
That's
and
a great scene.
also the best choreographed lightsaber fight in any Star Wars
Oh,
movie
yeah.
was.
100%.
It just cannot be beat, and I don't think it ever will be. It is
Mm-hmm.
incredible, and I will watch the whole movie just for that scene.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally.
But I don't mind the new movies so much. I wasn't a huge fan of the Rian Johnson movie, Last Jedi, but
yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
still take it over episode 2 and 3, but
Yeah.
just barely.
That's how I am. That's how it is for me. But also, like, I grew up like with those books, so it's like, why are you trying to give me this? I'm fine with my books.
Yeah, fine with what I got. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now the shows,
That's 50-50.
I feel like Disney is ruining Star Wars. They're over.
they're not helping it.
the market.
They're not helping it.
Star Wars was special. It was on a rare occasion.
Yeah.
Every couple of
Well,
decades.
that's just, and I don't want to bash Disney too much because we have like associates who like work at Disney
Sure,
or whatever.
sure.
But like, yeah, I would say that like Disney has just gotten to a point with like even with Marvel or like any of their ideas, they're just like
flooding the market.
flooding, and like it's to the point where like Marvel movies aren't even a cool thing.
No.
Like Iron Man, like Captain America, when we got Winter Soldier, like those movies, that was a big deal because like it was like we weren't used to
Right.
that, but now it's like we got 2 Marvel movies every year, and it's
Yeah.
like
It's too many.
it's
I
too
mean,
many.
I
It's like we don't
remember-
really. There's not really a reason to care anymore, especially after like Infinity War and all that. There's
After
no reason
Infinity
to
War, they
care.
should have stopped.
Oh,
But
Yes.
they won't because money. But
Right.
I remember when the very first modern superhero movie came out, which was the original Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember it being announced, and for like a year, I was excited for this movie.
Yeah.
Because in my whole life, there had never been superhero movies, and I loved that as a kid. And it came out, and I loved it. And honestly, I still think the original Spider-Man is great. I think it holds up. And I think people give, what's his name?
Tobey
Maguire.
Yeah.
They give him too much
Yeah.
shit, and I
Me
think he
and-
did a great job.
Me and Jack Bond over Spider-Man 2.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
we're the
I
two.
can
We can quote
that movie
Spider-Man
word for
2.
word.
Yeah.
And 3 was a tragedy.
Yeah.
I'll still defend 3.
oh, God.
But again, I saw that in theaters when I was like 5.
It's
so.
the nostalgia factor is important. It
Yeah.
does play a big part of things, for sure. But
Can we rewind really quick? I know you're trying to wrap us up, but I just noticed this doesn't have to be long. I just noticed you have Jurassic Park socks
Oh, and a
And-
Jurassic Park
and
lanyard.
Jurassic Park lanyard.
That's just a
This
funny
says dinosaurs.
coincidence. I do like Jurassic Park, but that's very. I didn't even realize I had the
also
Jurassic Park
94.
song.
I think it was
93.
Yeah,
Yeah,
93.
that sounds
Was
right.
it 3?
Yeah. Well, again, movie theater manager. We're showing it for the 30th anniversary right now.
Oh,
Nice.
nice. There you
So
go.
that's
Nice. I
Come see
saw
us at AMC, everybody.
I saw it when I was 5.
really
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Now, before we get out of here, where?
And we do.
Nope. Before we get out of here,
Sorry, I went to the
we should let
bathroom. I
the
don't even know where we
people know where they can find your band, or you individually, either one.
Well, by the time this is probably out, our next show will be Darty One in Fairview Farms.
This might be after that.
This might be after that.
I'm thinking about about 5 weeks,
Oh
Yeah. Darty's in like
way
2
after
weeks.
that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
3 to 5.
all of our music.
See us at the Surfer Girl Pro.
Oh, yeah, we have the-
November.
Where's that at?
In Jacksonville.
Yeah, Jacksonville,
Beach.
Florida.
Yeah.
We're playing Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, cool.
I think that's the most upcoming event by the
Yeah,
time this
that I can
episode
think
comes
of, yeah.
out. But yeah, all of our music is on Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you listen to music, YouTube. If you listen to your music on YouTube,
Yeah. For
we got two music videos. One for Honest, one for Crash My Car. If you want to check those out. And by the time this episode is out, we got Lips and
Lips, Hot Stuff,
and Hot
probably
Stuff out.
the EP. And when is the EP coming out? I don't know. That's classified.
Well,
anyway, I
yeah,
don't know.
classified.
Nah, I assume they can find you at the Band Light on.
Oh, yeah.
At the Band Light
Instagram,
official
Instagram,
TikTok
Facebook?
eventually.
Facebook? Do we?
Maybe?
I don't think we have a Facebook.
We probably created one and then instantly abandoned it.
MySpace,
I
We
want
should
to
get
make
a
a
MySpace
MySpace. I
and a
Zynga?
Tumblr. I feel like we could have a Tumblr crowd.
We
Live
could.
Journal.
Live-
What?
We're getting.
You lost
Yeah.
us.
That was the
The
pre-MySpace social
disconnect
media.
happened there.
Okay, so make sure to check. Oh, are you gonna queue up?
Yeah.
I can stall while you queue up a song.
Yeah.
But make sure to check out the. I'm talking slower so that you have time to pair the
Make
Bluetooth,
sure
the
you
brand
check
lights on all the things. Check out the shows. Okay, I'm not very good at stalling, Ryan. You have to be way faster than this.
Be interesting.
I can only be interesting spontaneously. I
Well,
can't do it
looks
on
like
the
we're gonna
spot.
have to talk another hour about
About
Star
Star
Wars. Dang
Yeah.
it!
Speaking of Star Wars, I can't. 'Cause
We're not gonna
will.
be able to stop, dude.
Yeah, it's happened before here with
Yeah.
we had a band on Dawson Hollow who are great. You should look them up. But
Yeah.
and every time they come in, I am talking to Star Wars about them.
I don't know what it is about. It's always Star Wars is the one that like,
It's
it
'cause
gets
if
the
you
most
love it,
heated.
you
gets
love
the,
it.
It gets the
Yeah.
most heated.
We got to come back just to talk about
Talk
Star
about
Wars,
Star Wars.
man.
Just have a Star Wars
100%.
episode.
Yeah. You can just go.
Connor would be in the corner.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I
Yeah.
don't really care.
I-
I'm not into all that.
Does Connor
Yeah.
not know about Star Wars?
No.
Well,
Again, we're the geeky members of the band Light.
All right, but make sure to check out the band Light. And as always, everybody, thanks for coming to hang out. You guys are awesome, and we will see y'all next time.
There's something that I gotta say. I'm kinda glad you walked away. 'Cause I never